Ready?
Yes.
And we are back.
We are back, bumble bitches.
Got to do the clap. Forgot to do that.
Okay. You guys don't have my undivided attention right now because I am currently in my Women Thrive group.
Can we talk about that?
But I'll tell you about that in a moment.
All right. Happy Wednesday, To Be Better fam. What's up, Spring Allison? I'm waiting to see what's going on with the stream. It looks like everything's connecting the way that it's supposed to. So everybody that's here, know that everything that could go wrong technically over the last week and a half has happened at least once. So in the event that any of this shit shuts down, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if it's the restream issue that we're having with the website that restreams from our OBS to YouTube and Facebook, or what the deal is. If it continues to do the thing and crashing, then we're just going to start going live exclusively on Facebook or YouTube and then posting it to Facebook so that people can filter over. If you're watching on Facebook and for some reason it gets disconnected, go to YouTube. Because if we pop back up, YouTube will be where it's at. So Facebook is currently working today, Madison. Thank you for asking. Are you almost done, woman?
I am almost done. I just responded to the last message.
All right.
Okay.
Now talk about your shit.
I have so many balls in the air right now, guys. I feel like I'm juggling a lot.
You're juggling balls?
Oh my gosh.
I'm a child. You can't
It's
say
okay.
things like that.
So I'm going to reword myself. I am juggling a lot of chainsaws on fire right now, guys.
There you go.
And I'm doing it. It's working. I'm doing all of it while taking a tolerance break, and this sucks.
How's it going for you? It's been 24 hours.
It has been 24 hours. I feel like Dave Chappelle in that comedy skit where he's like the guy addicted to crack. My anxiety is through the roof. I can tell that I have been using it as a coping mechanism instead of trying to go babies. I know. Come here. Come back up here. There we go. I have been using it as a coping mechanism for my anxiety, almost as an escape, the same way people use video games.
Escapism is real.
Yeah, I've been using it as an escape. And I got so much done today. And I woke up this morning. I slept in. I didn't wake up and be like, I need to go decompress on the back patio and smoke before the house wakes up. I was awake before my usual 5:30 alarm. And I was like, oh, well, I got nothing to do. I'm going to go back to bed. And I did. And I slept in until my second alarm. And I woke up before that one too. And I was like, well, I feel good. I'm just going to do the day. I didn't wake up with that fuck.
Yeah.
It was, oh, I can go back to bed. That was nice. I have texted you every time I've wanted to smoke.
Holding yourself accountable.
Every single time. And I haven't said it. I'm sorry if this is annoying, but I have said to you, you don't have to respond to these at this point. This is just me holding myself accountable in the real world. Holding myself accountable to my husband. Because I could just sit there and go, I want to smoke, I want to smoke, I want to smoke. Smoke.
It'd be really easy to just go do it.
It would be real easy to go do it. And if I'm not verbalizing that I want to do this, there's nobody there to go, well, no, you don't really want to do that. You're just bored right now. Or,
and I've said that to you every time.
You have.
I would like to believe, and this is my ego, that I've been right every time. Not just necessarily about boredom, because I can tell what you're going through in the moment.
Yeah.
Be like, you don't really want to smoke. You're just da-da-da.
Yeah. I don't need it. Right? Back when I was using it for medicinal purposes, I did. In my mind, I needed it. It's either I'm going to have a panic attack, a meltdown, and I'm going to self-destruct, or I can go smoke and calm myself down. It was a tool in the moment to help me get to where I am now, and I don't enjoy it anymore. I feel I've evolved past that, using it as medicinal purposes, and it'll be more of just a decompression at the end of the day. It's still going to be a medicinal thing.
Right.
But it's not going to be, all right, every 6 hours, take your medicine. Every 4 hours, you got to take your medicine.
Do you think that with the therapy that you've been doing on top of that you've no longer need the medicine the way that people take antidepressants or something like that? Because I believe that's just a tool to get you through your therapy sessions.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Well, speaking of therapy, we have a message, a super chat.
Oh, okay.
That can wait. What was your
I was just going to jump into everything that I was going to talk about.
Okay. Sabrina said, had my first therapy session yesterday with BetterHelp. It went great. I'm grateful for Mike pushing and encouraging me to start it. I can't wait for the dark clouds of postpartum to be gone.
Yeah.
Congrats on that. For those of you who are curious, if you go to betterhelp.com/to-be-better, it'll save you 10%. We don't get shit from that. Just know that it's possible
Yep.
to save some money if you need therapy, and we highly recommend it. Speaking of your husband, Mike, he texted me this morning, and I hope that the answers I gave him was enough to give him some sort of guidance. What are the other things that you wanted to get into?
So I have my private women's group. It's at $115 a month. Everyone's aware of that, and the spots have filled up. I opened it up to 30 a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's filled up. And I have heard all of you women saying that you would love to be a part of that group, but the price point is too much. And like I said, I have a lot of chainsaws in the air right now, so I really tried my best to accommodate a lower price while still making myself available without taking myself away from all the things that I'm already involved in. So I have created Women's Thrive. It is a private women's group at $50 a month, where there is a monthly book reading, there are monthly challenges, there are monthly phone calls, and there is unlimited access to me through a group chat in WhatsApp. It does not have everything of the higher tier women's group, obviously, but I am still going to be more available on a more intimate level for you ladies who want that guidance, mentorship, advice. Also, Bumble Bitches Bath and Body is almost sold out, guys. We are dwindling. I have 4 coffee scrubs left.
Yeah, you have less than 20 of the other 2 products as well.
Yeah, less than 20 of the hand lotions and less than 20 of the body oils. If you are interested in that, check out tobebetter.com, the number 2bebetter.com, and click on the tab that says Bumble Bath and Body. Everything's listed there. It's super easy to get to. And once this sells out, we will be restocking. I don't know if it'll be the same scent. I don't know if I'm going to swap it up for the Christmas season, see where I go with it, but
I would really like to see you do a beard oil.
that I want to increase stock. We just have to get to the point of being able to handle that.
I believe that even men who don't do like beard treatments, if their woman bought them a scent that they liked, if they were okay with the smell, even if they didn't love the smell, knowing that their woman liked the smell, I think they would wear it.
Yeah.
Not to try to sell a whole lot of shit, but just I want to clear out everything too. Trova Trip's last day of the sale is today, so if you guys want to go to Costa Rica with us, there's a $100 special. It'll save you $100. That's Chris Peach's 100 on the Trova Trip thing. There's a link in the bio. And we have hoodies and new shirts up on the website too. So there's been a lot of things that we've talked about making shirts for that have been made and is stuck on the website in the store. So that's all there. Anything else?
No, I think that was my 2 things. The Women's Thrive group and then Bumble Bitches.
Okay. We'll get into doing some Q&A stuff with you guys here in a little bit.
Yes.
We have a couple of things that we want to just kind of do housekeeping on. What did you think of yesterday's episode with To Be Focused?
Oh, I think it went great.
What did you guys think of that? Let us know in the chat.
Did you want more of my opinion? Or are we
Yeah, I
moving
did.
on?
I just was.
Okay. I think it went great. I think that our 4 minds are going to be unstoppable. I think our 4 perspectives and 4 life experiences are going to be, I don't know, like the stones that I'm suddenly having a massive brain fart on everything that I know about MCU. Thanos and the Infinity Stones. It came to me. I got it. We're going to be the Infinity Stones of people getting their shit together.
There you go, nerd.
Yeah, we got there.
We did.
We definitely, it was a little bumpy.
There's something to be said about not only having a group of entrepreneurs working together, but having 4 entrepreneurs coaching.
Who are in 2 fabulous marriages,
right,
making everything work. Like, we aren't here, do as I say, not as I do. We are practicing what we preach, and we're trying to help.
Yeah, after that conversation that we had yesterday, I had to leave quick. Like I was
dipped.
out the door in less than a minute after we turned everything off. I want to sit down with the 4 of us again and reapproach that conversation from if we had that set of circumstances, how would we all individually build our business and our brand?
Okay.
Because I think that all 4 of us would miss things that the other people wouldn't miss. So there might be some overlap, but with the 4 of us having that conversation, there will be avenues explored that one of us didn't think of, or, oh shit, I
Right.
would have never thought to do that. And I think that would be great fucking content for entrepreneurs. Lot of loved it from yesterday. We got a super chat real quick from Martina that said, slightly off topic, when entering courtship,
However,
when entering courtship, when should someone disclose a PPO you have in regards to an ex, you being the one who filed for it? Is that a restraining order? A PPO, is that a restraining order?
yeah, I think that's a personal protection order.
Okay. I would let that shit be known right away.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you had to file for a restraining order or a personal protection order, good call on that, by the way, because I didn't put that together. You starting into a new relationship could put the person that you were courting in danger. Right.
Yeah. After that first date, if there's going to be a second date, I need to make you aware of this.
Right.
Like, because now we're not walking away as strangers. You're hoping to see me again. Yeah.
Yeah. It is a personal protection order. Good call on that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to touch on is I have a few things, but I want to start recording in the whiskey room again, and I have an idea for content. We want to do more than just emails. I would love to start doing interviews. I would love to be guest on other people's podcasts. We fucking really had fun on Jada Bell's podcast.
Speaking of being a guest on somebody's podcast, I'm going to be on Tratty Baddies.
The 10th.
On the 10th. Yes, we're recording the 10th. I don't know when that episode is going to be released, but if you guys were interested in seeing me talk about not this, check out Tratty Baddies. Follow them. I don't know when that podcast episode is going to be released, but we're going to be talking about... Can I say it? I'm going to say it.
Go ahead.
We're going to be talking about Dom sub relationships and how it's impacted my mental health. We're going to talk about motherhood. We're going to talk about what it looks like to use sex as a weapon in relationships and how it's self-sabotaging. We're going to dive into a lot of things, and I'm pretty excited about it.
You know what I would really like to see those two women do?
What's that?
Stop using webcams.
Oh, yeah.
As somebody that does the technical back end of all of the To Be Better stuff, a crappy camera and crappy audio will turn people off to your content immediately.
Quickly.
You can buy a Sony A6000 used and a Zeiss lens, a 16 millimeter Zeiss lens, and that makes for a great webcam. You get a decent microphone, whether it be on camera or off camera, and a mixer, and like it will change the entire content. And I know that they do things through the internet. All they have to do is save their footage on each computer and then upload it to a Google Drive and put it together. And it would clear up everything. So just a note for you guys, if you're happening to be listening, that's something that I think you should do. The whiskey room, I want to start doing content at home in our whiskey room again. I want to clean that up and get that going again. And that be like either after hours content, maybe even do after hours live streams where the kids go to bed and like we have a drink and you have a glass of wine and like we just have
peaches after dark.
Just have a free flowing conversation of news of the day or can't believe they did that, whatever, just so that you and I can create content that has no restrictions on it.
I agree with that.
Because you can only have the same conversation about learning how to use I versus you statements so many fucking times. And I understand that a lot of new people are coming in and they've never watched those videos, and we will have to regurgitate that content. I just don't want that to be solely what we focus on.
Right.
So I think that we should look into doing that. I also think that we need to do more of the test runs of the hot topics for Patreon, because that was a lot.
Yeah.
And I think that will go over pretty well. And then the other thing that I wanted to touch on real quick, and this doesn't have anything to do with the chat or the live stream. It has to do with our Patreon community specifically. I made a thread in Discord today that asked if you guys were going to be alone at Christmas time. There are a whole lot of people out there that don't have families, that are the black sheep, that don't have anything going on, that are going to be alone on Christmas. Peaches and I are considering right now. I found the cabin. It's fucking gangster. Renting a cabin for the week of Christmas and us doing a big Christmas Eve dinner in Tennessee.
Yeah. I want it to be on Christmas Eve.
So if you guys are interested in doing that and you're part of our Discord community, find the fucking thread. You can ask anybody in the ball pit. They can point you to it. Let us know if you're going to be alone or if you have the ability, if you want to do the Christmas Eve thing, whatever.
How do we feel about kids?
They're not staying at the cabin.
Okay.
So like if they're just coming for Christmas Eve, that's fine. They got to go. Our kids aren't going to be there. So that's a thing. But we will be doing a week. I looked from I think the 21st to the 27th, from Saturday to Saturday. So if we have people because that's a full week.
Right. We're going to have to talk about that.
Right. I know.
Okay.
but I haven't bought the cabin. That's
Okay.
the dates that I'm looking at. I was doing that right before you got home and we left right away. So
Right.
some of this is new information for you too.
Mm-hmm.
If we can do that, there is a possible to turn that into the couples retreat thing that we were trying to do as well. So depending on how that works, I think that might be a thing. We might be able to make that thing work is what I'm getting at.
I'm confused. So now you're trying to make this into a couples retreat as well?
No, we were going to do the couples retreat for New Year's
Right.
in Florida.
Okay.
If we're going to do this, there might be a way to finagle it so that one weekend of that is the couples retreat because we'll be renting the cabin for the full week. So instead of having them come for Christmas, they can come the weekend after Christmas because Christmas falls on a Wednesday this year.
Right.
Like that gives us time to possibly, if we want to do that. I don't even know if the couples retreat thing is going to happen. That was a good idea, something that we wanted to try to do.
Mm-hmm.
Zach put a list of the people that were in the budget of the cabin or the house, the mansion that I was looking at for Florida. But I haven't actually started sending emails out yet because I haven't got a catering thing. There's still things that we have to figure out, but with the way that our life has looked right now, taking that time to go do that might be difficult.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm just trying to make check off as many boxes of our life as possible with this trip. And we can sit down and figure out the logistics of that. If we even want to go that route, I don't know. I'm bringing it up now because if we have the cabin, that kind of makes sense,
Right.
but we'll figure that out.
Okay.
We have a super chat from Blind Bat that says, To Be Focused Live was very helpful. I am a dog groomer who just moved to a city with a lot of private salons. I need to stand out. Very excited for more.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, I do too. Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I think having those conversations where people are trying to start a business or are struggling with their business that can write in questions and we can give a small snippet of an answer. I truly believe there's a sales tactic in that because we can give them a little bit of information that can actually change their business and be like, if you really want to level your business up, come join us at To Be Focused and actually sell a 12-week program. That would really do the fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
We can teach marketing. We can teach social media aspects. We can help brand recognition, logos, all of that. But those were my main things. The whiskey room thing I think is the biggest because we are able to do content at the house and then just bring it here. And I know that going live from home because our internet there is so bad, it doesn't last, but we can try and like just do a single camera because we get the third angle shot where it's got both of us sitting there having a conversation, drinking. The camera doesn't have to be on our face.
Right.
And we can have a single drink and have a conversation about whatever. And then if the live ends abruptly, we can just bring the footage to the studio. Carrie can edit it and we can put it back up for content.
Mm-hmm.
So Nikki Keith said, can we donate for the ones who want to go but may not be able to afford to go on your cabin? We're not going to charge. If we do the cabin thing, it's going to be just a matter of them driving to us.
Oh yeah, we're staying in the cabin.
Right. It's going to happen either way.
Now, if we end up like, you guys want to cook food or something, you don't have to bring your own stuff.
Right. I would originally I wanted to do a potluck. Like that would be cool that everybody would bring something. But for safety concerns, I'm not willing to eat something somebody else has cooked if I don't know them.
Yeah.
Like I would eat Abby's bread.
Yeah.
Zach, I'll eat his cooking. I would fight over Zach's cooking. Your cooking, like if we could.
Oh, I'm glad you added my food in there on that.
Are you going to do that?
I appreciate that.
If we can get you and Zach in a kitchen together for a day, there's no need for anybody to do anything. We just need a head count to figure out how much we're cooking for.
I made a comment this morning that I miss being in a kitchen with Zach and Janae.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gangsters in the kitchen.
Yeah.
It was really nice. That felt like a down home family thing for me. I think the
really
emotional
did.
attachment is more than the food to me.
Yeah.
But yep. Have you looked into Starlink for internet? We have Starlink. We have the business class one that I just canceled because I was getting really bad upload speeds, and I just bought a mini for our overlanding. I have a Starlink so that when we go camping in the middle of the mountains, we can still get online and live stream and shit from a campfire.
Yeah. We can.
Yeah.
Speaking of a campfire, have you heard from Trevor?
I did. I just got a notification that there was motion at the door. So I'm going to go see if our food is there.
Okay.
He told me that he should know something by the end of the day today, and he was hoping that he will be able to start. Are you going? Okay. He's hoping that he'll be able to start doing the dirt and shit tomorrow morning. We'll see.
I appreciate him.
He's a good dude.
Yeah. So excited for that fireplace.
I would love to cook for y'all. I have a restaurant. Are you in Tennessee? Jake Maria Rule. Hello from New Hampshire. if I could be with you all for Christmas, I would. I mean, I don't know how hard it would bring your kids. Like,
I'll pay for your children's flight.
I would, yeah, we'll gladly pay for that entire family. Jenny, we love you, and Zach. We would love to have all of you guys down.
Allow me to be Auntie Peaches. Let's go.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, we can. Oh, I can't say that out loud. That would have to be an off the legalities.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
I'm doing a lot of things in my life. I'm also cutting back soda. I usually get a large, and I got a medium today. And even that medium is kind of disgusting me right now.
Yeah, it's gonna taste disgusting too.
So
I haven't had a good fountain drink in probably 3 months.
Taco Bell and McDonald's are the only fountain drinks I've been
Wawa.
enjoying. Wawa, really?
That was the last one I had that was good.
I did not enjoy my Wawa drink.
They have that giant
The freestyle Coke.
yeah. And I was able to get a cream soda, and it was amazing.
Oh yeah, cream soda slaps.
I work for a cabin company in East Tennessee. Where were y'all thinking? We have not picked anywhere yet, Kendra. If you would like to send us an email, please do. I normally rent from Escape from Blue Ridge, but I was on Airbnb today, so you guys are going to get to watch us eat.
Oh, they loaded you up this time.
Yeah, they hooked me up. It's nice because the last time there was not a whole lot in there. Would you like to do emails today, or
What do you guys want?
I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna eat it.
That is an avocado sauce.
It looks like baby snot.
I don't know how you can say things like that and then still eat it.
It's just baby snot. It's not like I said like horse poop. I'd eat that too. Not horse poop, but I would eat it if it looked like it. I don't give a shit.
Oh my god. How do you get that disconnect to happen
Prison.
from your eyes to your stomach? Prison, that makes sense.
Would have been nice if they'd have gave me a spoon instead of a fork. All good though. It just makes all this gross baby shit fucking
Can you please
beans.
stop? I want to eat too.
That's funny.
I haven't been to prison. I don't know what that's like. I don't know what it's like to be able to just breeze past that.
Don't look at it. Just eat it as quickly as you can, because eventually they're going to tell you chow's up and you can't fucking...
Not looking at it's the problem. It's not the problem. It's me thinking about it. I want to smoke.
No, you don't. You want to eat.
Pulled into the driveway this morning. So for everybody who has been here for a while, you're aware that I have a very mild Amy Winehouse obsession. She is currently my like hyper fixation of life. And I'm just kind of breaking down her music, her lyrics. She has some documentaries that she did before she passed away. And I was driving here, getting ready to come in to record this live. And it popped up into my mind that Amy Winehouse won a Grammy. And she pulled her friend backstage and said, "This is so boring without drugs."
Yep.
I don't want to be that person.
I get that.
I don't want to be that person. And that's been playing on my mind and repeat as well. Because I can still have fun without smoking.
Somebody asked how to email us. It's tobetterco@gmail.com. Carrie, I'm gonna open the Can you shift home button right arrow to bring the yes, thank you.
Home button, right arrow. Ooh, look at that.
Now do it again with the left arrow. All right, dope.
You're really good at being in charge, babe.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the job. Somebody said they want feel-good emails. I'm not going to deny that request. I love the feel-good emails.
I don't know who's going to be reading this email. I'm eating lunch.
I'm just getting it ready.
Okay. I am off the clock right now. Whoa,
right.
I just had the wildest deja vu. That's like the second or third time somebody has said that in our live stream. That they've had a sense of deja vu.
Because we do the same thing every day.
That's not where I was going to go with that, and that's depressing as fuck.
It's our job to help people. And we do it by reading emails and giving opinions about their shit.
We do.
I had someone try to rip me apart last night on Facebook for not being a licensed therapist.
Again.
It was on that video that I made about anger. Yep. They were like, you shouldn't be trying to give people counseling. I'm like, I'm giving people my opinions on things that I've read. So
Right.
sorry that you're so miserable. Have a great day. Mm-hmm.
You know, I really don't understand where the offense comes from in that. Like, really, really, people find any reason to be offended nowadays.
Yep. It's easier to be offended and triggered than it is to make change.
Bet if that dude had cancer, he wouldn't worry about you being a therapist.
Surprised it wasn't a guy.
I'm not surprised. I know that was a sarcastic surprise, but I want to let you know I'm not surprised by that. I am very disappointed by females. There's a difference between a woman and a female.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, I'll die on that hill. Just because you have a pussy doesn't make you the greatest thing on earth.
Well, that's true. Although there are a lot of women out there who will disagree with that statement.
Cool. And what does your life look like right now?
Right. Do we want to have the conversation that you started having on the couch while we're eating and then jump into the emails, or you want to save that for later?
Oh.
That's what that sounded like. You're like a Muppet. Yop, 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 yop. Yop, 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 yop.
Trying not to laugh while there's food in my mouth because I'm scared of inhaling it.
New fear unlocked.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we can certainly. Oh, hang on. I saw advice about a child. Can you scroll up just a little bit? Have you guys seen that video of, okay, so it's a room of people and there's a whiteboard and the R word is written on the whiteboard. Like a rapist, but something else. And they're like, what's worse than this? And they rip it off and he's like, oh, a child. But it's supposed to be a child, whatever. That's every time I think of a word child, my mind goes, oh, a child. Just so you all are caught up. Peaches, any advice on handling a toddler boy? He's our first son. We've only had girls, but he's also diagnosed autistic and 4 years old, but he's such a daredevil and my anxiety can't handle it.
That is normal boy shit.
That is normal boy shit. Welcome to being a boy mom.
Encourage it.
Yep. You try to catch him when he jumps off of something. And if not, that's why I tell you not to jump off of things. If you're going to be stupid, expect to be hurt.
Well, right. That's the whole point of being a boy parent, though.
Yeah.
You want to let them do really stupid shit in a somewhat controlled, safe scenario.
Yep.
Because you don't want to create a coward.
Right.
You want them to free think.
You don't want a coward who's addicted to porn.
Right.
Like,
And you want them to be courageous in the things that they're doing. If they're afraid of failure, or they're afraid of trying, and everything that happens to them makes them apprehensive, and they have that anxiety about things, you failed. That daredevil shit is normal. Let them do the daredevil shit. What do you need?
They didn't give me a straw.
Those bitches. Are you sure?
Oh, I have one from McDonald's right here. I'm gross and I leave things sitting out overnight, and now I'm going to use an old straw. So last night we were having a conversation. I'm gonna piss off a lot of ladies with this.
Yeah. Yes, she is. Beef. Yes.
Yeah,
It's coming.
I'm gonna piss off a lot of you guys, and I am prepared for that. I'm also prepared to elaborate. So if I say something and you don't like how it's said, don't get shitty with me. What did you mean by that? And I can elaborate a little bit further. We can have a discussion here. Capiche?
Capiche.
Fucking Carrie. I hit the children with that too.
Yeah.
Capiche? Capiche. He does try to say it. He is. So last night we were sitting on the couch and I was just evaluating TV and social media and the emails we receive and all of the gripes that we get from women. And I got a little frustrated.
No.
I took it a little personal. And I took it a little personal because I was a mess of a lady. I was not a woman when I had children. I don't even believe I was fit to be a mother when I had children. I was such a mess. I was with somebody I knew I didn't want to be with, but I was so craving of being in a relationship and having a marriage that it didn't matter who was in that spot. Person wanted it. Did it matter if we got along or not? Did it matter if the person made me happy? I wasn't thinking 5 years in advance. I was thinking, am I going to get laid tomorrow by the person who says they love me? That was it. And my life was a mess. I left my first husband years ago. Children were both still in diapers when I left him. And I remember sitting, I was in a 1995 stick shift Subaru on the side of the road, a back road, sobbing with my kids in the back seat. And all I could think about was, I'm getting ready to move into a relative's house. I'm going to have a bedroom. I don't have a job. And I just left somebody who I've hated for a very long time, but I didn't have the balls to say I don't want to be with you because I was scared of making him upset. And now my children are a part of this. I did not have the guidance or the mentorship that was necessary for me to be a healthy adult by the time I became an adult. And my anger and my frustration, I can feel my face getting red because I'm thinking about it.
I can see the tears starting to well too. So
women, young ladies, 19, 20, 21 years old, you guys are still babies. And now you're having babies with men who don't want to be with you. What are you doing? We are such a broken society. And the thought of our daughter one day being an adult, sitting in her room at 2:00 in the morning crying, sending an email to us, doesn't do it for me. So now I'm going to be a mom, and I'm going to mother the shit out of you guys right now. And it might piss you off. You might be mad at me. That's cool. We get mad at our moms sometimes. It doesn't mean that I'm not trying to do what I think is best right now in the moment for the people listening. You need to heal yourselves. Being a young woman fresh out of high school, if you did not have a healthy example of what a relationship looked like in your home, do not jump into a relationship right away. Don't do it. And if somebody is trying to have a child with you and you've known this person for 3 months, you need to walk away.
you also need to be using protection in the event that you're having sex.
100%. And do not be opening your legs to every single guy who looks at you, who tells you that you look pretty. Don't give in to your own sexual desires. Well, I just want to get off for the night, so I'm going to hit up Tinder. And now you have some random strange guy coming to your house. He now knows where you live. He knows how to get in contact with you. And you're doing this 2-3 times a week? What kind of life is that? There's no sustenance there. I don't believe that women were made to be ran through. I believe that women exist to be cherished. And we are here to cherish the people we love. I am so sick of the emails of women getting themselves into positions where it seems impossible to get out of. And then there's children involved. See your self-worth first and foremost before anything else somebody else can provide to you. Your worth is not derived because you make a man happy. Your worth is not derived because some random Joe Schmo said that you're sexy. Your self-worth is derived from, I'm going to set boundaries in my life. I'm not going to allow people to walk on me. If I am uncomfortable with something, I'm going to make it known. If the person I'm with is not okay with that, if that person has a problem with me being uncomfortable about something, this is probably not my person.
Probably not.
Your person's not going to watch porn behind your back. Your person's not going to like thirst traps behind your back. This person's not going to like thirst traps in front of your face and just go, oh, well, that's how men are. Stop accepting below standard behavior from the man in your life because you're broken. And now I'm getting angry and I feel my IQ dropping. I'm going to stop talking.
You want to touch on the whole life after single mom? Because that got you going pretty good last night too. You went on a tangent for about an hour.
Yeah. I would go silent for like 5 minutes and I'd start up again. Yeah. And I'd go silent for like 10 or 15 minutes and I'd start up again. Being a single mom was hard.
I got it.
Being a single mom was difficult. I'm mentally ill. I have borderline. I have been diagnosed with severe depression, severe anxiety, PTSD, all of these things. And can I say the S word once?
Mm-hmm.
Suicidal ideation has been a really big thing with my depression, my PTSD, and my borderline. And when I was a single mom, that was one of the highest points I've ever experienced it. I was waking up every single morning in a panic because not only do I have to go to work, I have to get the kids to school, and I have to make my lunch, and I have to make sure that the kids are fed. And fuck me, the clothes are still in the dryer. And I haven't gone grocery shopping in 2 weeks. And there's dishes in the sink. And I haven't emptied out the diaper bag. But I still have to get to work. All of that can wait until I get home. I need to get the kids and I out the door. And now I'm at work and I'm handling a whole new stress of things. And
if we were meant to do this by ourselves, we wouldn't need each other to procreate.
Right. I would cry myself to sleep every single night. But I would have to do it quietly because my kids were sleeping on the couch in the living room and they wouldn't want to sleep in their own bedroom. And I was so exhausted that I didn't want to fight them about sleeping in their own bedroom. It was an hour and a half of screaming. And I would give up and be like, all right, sleep on the couch. I don't care. And then 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, every single night, they would both come into bed with me. So I really didn't have any sense of myself. And I felt like a bad parent when my children would cry. I was parenting out of guilt as a single mother. 100% out of guilt. And my kids' behavior reflected that. I am still undoing their behavior from years ago because I was parenting out of guilt. And parenting out of guilt looked like, yeah, you can have another snack. Even though we're going to have dinner in 10 minutes, you can have a snack. Yeah, you can watch TV. Even though you've been watching TV for 4 hours today, you can keep watching TV if it makes you happy.
Yeah.
Do you want to kick and scream to get what you want? Well, I don't want to see you that upset. You can just go ahead and have it. It's detrimental to the children. Detrimental for their adulthood. And reflecting upon myself and the way that I am now as an adult and the way that I handle my relationships and the way that I conduct myself in society and community, I can see the way that I was damaged by my parents. I can see every ball that was dropped. And it didn't just bounce off the ground, it made a crater. And part of my self-growth journey was acknowledging that I was also dropping balls in my children's lives and creating craters for them.
Just repeating the shit.
Right.
Read this real quick, and then I'm going to scroll down so that you can keep going.
Okay.
I just don't want to miss the super chats, and the chat will go away. Lewis said, a day-old straw isn't near as icky as an ex that people continue to go back to. Sorry, my autism wouldn't let that go.
Holy shit.
Yeah, scrolling all the way
He
down.
said it.
Yeah, he did. You also brought up the situation of trying to find a man knowing that you had 2 kids.
Oh my God. That was one of my biggest fears. That's one of those things that would keep me awake at night crying. That I knew that I just left my first husband. I just left my ex-husband. Not just left my ex-husband. This was like a year and a half into me after leaving him, and I was still feeling like I made a massive mistake because I was struggling so hard. And he put in my ear, nobody's going to love you. Nobody's going to be capable of loving you the way that I love you. And he loved me like a piece of shit. So if that's what love looked like, fuck. So.
That is such a huge form of abuse.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I was terrified. I was like, this is going to be the rest of my life. Just depression and misery and anxiety and me not being good enough for anybody. And now I have 2 children. I'm damaged goods. I had a massive fear. Child predators 100% will use single mothers to get to the children. They know that single mothers are a weak point. They know that childless fathers are an easy in. And that was one of my biggest fears. And that's one of the reasons that I wasn't putting myself on the market. Like, I put myself into a position to be by myself for the rest of my life, and I was coming to terms with that. because I left my ex-husband. I had kids with him, and now I have kids, and I can't trust a man to come into my home. I was in the full feminazi, fuck all men, they're all pieces of shit mindset. And when I would lay awake at night crying, realizing that I'm probably going to be by myself for the rest of my life, fucking devastating. All I've ever craved is love. All I've ever craved is validation. To feel like I'm enough, to feel like I'm worthy, to feel like what I provide is enough to make somebody happy, that they don't have to go elsewhere to find more. And I was accepting that I took that away from me because of the choices that I made in my life. When you and I first started doing what we were doing and courting and talking and all those kinds of things, I really believed that we would never be together. You made it very clear that you did not want to raise children again. It's over a 10-year age difference between us. And I fell in love with you quick.
That's because I'm fucking incredible. They made TV shows after me. I was a cartoon character.
Yeah.
Mr. Incredible joke. Yeah, sorry.
Part of me, right? Like I was already depressed. I was already going through what I was going through. I knew the children had their father and their grandmother and all of the rest of their family, that if we didn't work out, I could just unalive myself and everything would go on. I've never told you that. Never told you that. I was fully prepared to unalive myself. I was so disgusted with me and what I've done with my life. And I saw you for the good man that you were and you are, that you're continuing to grow and mold yourself to be. And I was telling myself, I know I'm not worthy of this man. Like I have 2 children. He's raised his kids. He's told me he doesn't want kids. Like what am I doing? The only reason you're with me is because of me. The only reason you love me is because of who I am as a person and who I continue to strive to be as a person, and the things that I do to be accountable for my actions, to be in charge of my emotions, to be able to battle my borderline and keep my shit together is why you love me. And I don't believe I would have become this person that you love if you had never had an interest in me.
Why is that? Because you were doing so much self-work before we committed to each other.
Because I was still kind of a piece of shit. I was still kind of a piece of shit. There were still chinks of my armor. It could have taken one thing to blow up my life for me to fall back into my old habits.
Do you still feel like that? That one thing away?
No.
I struggle with that every day of my life.
I don't feel like I'm one thing away from anything anymore. There's steps to it. Now, if I've had like 3 or 4 really hard fucking days, now I'm 1 step away. Now I'm 1 step away and it takes one thing for me to pull a pew-pew out. Leave a note for my husband. But that's taken a lot of time and a lot of self-growth to get to that point where it's not just 1 step away anymore.
I have that belief that it would take one misstep to lose everything. And I have that,
including me,
everything, because I've started over. This is the 3rd time in my life that I've had to start over. And like, it's one of those things that like, I'm not worried about getting it all back.
Right.
I have the brain capacity and the drive. It wouldn't matter if I was 65 years old. If I had to start over, I got this. And I know that. But knowing that I've had to start over so many times, like I don't want to fucking do that again. So like I keep that fear just in reach.
So it's not a worry about losing me, it's a worry about starting over.
It's a fear of losing everything.
Okay.
Not just starting over. It's a fear of losing you and the kids, the house, the cars, the businesses, the podcast, our fan base. Like, I keep that very close because it makes me work harder, knowing that it's one step away from falling apart. So
that's crazy to hear that that's your motivation. My motivation is knowing that it's not one step away anymore.
yeah, I have a lot of eyes looking at me. I have everything falls to me. So if we lost the house, that's not a you problem. That's a me problem that is affecting your life.
Right.
But that's the burden of leadership. So, and I understand that there are a lot of males out there that aren't going to understand that because they don't have the role of leadership in the home, but
yeah,
I do. So now that I've made you cry or you've made you cry and we've had this really long discussion, do you want to take a break and do some feel good emails now?
Did this mean anything? I mean, I've been talking. I haven't eaten at all. So.
It meant a lot to me. The chat's going fucking nuts. They have been vibing with you the entire time.
Did I piss off a bunch of ladies? Did that happen?
I didn't see a single pissed off anything. Carrie's over there crying. There's just positivity. There's a lot of people saying that this is exactly how they feel. Love you guys. It's just, I don't know. Last night you made a very clear statement about women having children,
not having their shit together.
Yeah, having children with shitty men.
Right. You not you, the listeners, but you, if you are doing this, you, if this is your current life, you're making these choices. You are opening to men who don't value you, who don't see anything long-term in you, who see you as a place to stick it. One of the most degrading things I have ever thought about myself is I really am just a hole to stick it. And some men view me that way. Some men that I've been with view me that way. And coming to that understanding of I was nothing more to them than just pussy, it hurts. That sucks. And I've tried every other way to try to rationalize, well, sometimes he did things for me that were nice. Sometimes he made me feel like I was important. Every once in a while, he asked me how my day was. That self-rationalization, that you're choosing to doctor your own reality at that point. You're like a photographer in a dark room with the red lights and trying to Photoshop before Photoshop was a thing.
Trying to make your life look better.
Right. Does it suck to be alone? Yes. Especially when you're unhealed and all you have are those damaged thoughts in your brain of everything would be better if I were dead. Nobody really loves me. Nothing I do has any impact anyway. I'm invisible to everybody. I have nobody texting me. I have no phone calls. I have no friends. I sit on my couch and I watch Rick and Morty and get high.
Somebody said, were those really men? They're not, they're males. Believe it or not, I have a book that I'm writing and I'm 3 chapters in, and 2 of those chapters so far are the difference between men and males and what it means to be a husband, and actually breaking that down.
I'm almost certain I touched on that in my TikTok this morning. If I didn't touch it on my TikTok this morning, it's because I deleted it and I had to re-record it like 4 or 5 times. But
the difference between a man and a male?
No, that you're writing a book.
Oh.
Have you seen the TikTok I made this morning?
I have not done TikTok at all this morning. I logged in and uploaded to get my upload for the morning and then logged out.
That's another TikTok where I called out women. I was getting in the car this morning, waiting for the children to get their seatbelts on. And I was scrolling YouTube and a video popped up. You go ahead and read that super chat.
From Aloha Snack Bar, Snooper. The super chat says, do you consider the one step away from losing everything mindset a healthy motivation?
It depends on how you tell it to yourself.
It depends on the person. There are people out there that will allow that thought to cripple them, to paralyze them, right? It'll make it so they don't make decisions anymore because they don't see a point. I am a special breed in that I like being told I can't do something. Because I'll fucking show you. Like I have that mindset, and it's a toxic trait. I fucking know that it is. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble in my life. It's dialed back now. Like I don't do stupid shit anymore, but that's beneficial to me. Knowing that I have to continue to work because the eyes are looking at me, and if I lose things, it's going to affect my wife and the children, I can live in my car. I've been homeless. Like, I'm good with that. I got to be honest, and this is going to sound really fucked up. The freest I have ever been was when I was homeless. There was
bills?
There was no debt. There was no bills. I didn't have to worry about shit. If I didn't want to be here, I would just move somewhere else. Like, you know, and having friends that I could couch hop for from time to time. But like, I lived in a park and I've lived on a beach, like on the fucking beach. So there is still a freedom that I know is there in that, but it's not just me anymore. I can't live in a fucking Bronco or a van with 2 kids and 2 dogs and a wife and fucking have a business. And there's a lot to that. So to answer your question, that mindset is a healthy motivation for me. I don't dwell on it. I just know that it's there. And I remind myself every day that little man will be walking in my shoes one day. I fucking hope he walks in my shoes.
Me too.
Because there are other options out there. And I would like to believe, and this is an ego thing, I would like to believe that I'm a good role model. I have done a lot of fucked up things in my life, and if the fucked up things that I have done can teach our son not to do those things by proxy, that's a win. Regardless of anything else, that alone is a win. I would like to set them up with some sort of financial security as they age. Like there's a responsibility there for me. So to answer your question, yes, I think this is somewhat of a healthy motivation.
So I was watching a TikTok this morning, and it popped up, and it was a military compilation. Military dudes doing stupid shit. And it made me happy. And I was like, damn, these dudes, right? I know women are in the military. Before anybody gets their panties in a bunch, women are in the military. Thank you for your services. These men made me laugh. And I took a second. I was like, these men are over there. It looks like one dude was parachuting into the desert. And he was chewing dip, making jokes about his buddy in front of him also parachuting down. Like, you could be actively dropping into war. I have no idea what he's dropping into. And he's still trying to be light about things. And it was just cycling through different areas, different groups of men and all these kinds of things. And the last one fucking killed me. There was a Hispanic man and a white dude. And the white guy's like, hey, how did you end up here? Why are you in the military? And they turned it back to him. And he goes, well, I was at Home Depot. And this man came up to me and said, I can get you a green card. And now I'm here. And that was just funny shit. Like, they're finding ways to keep themselves entertained,
right,
while simultaneously handling really hard shit. I couldn't be in the military. I cry. I can't control it. Dude starts yelling at me, I'm a fucking cry. And then he's going to ask me, why are you crying? I don't know why I'm crying. Is it because I'm yelling at you? No, I'm fine with you yelling at me. I don't know what's happening to me, but now I'm getting nervous. I'm going to start crying because I'm upset. Yeah, it's going to be a whole mess. I'm probably going to get kicked out. I also have an attitude.
Yeah, attitude shit goes away real quick in boot camp.
I don't know about that.
Yeah,
because like once my attitude goes away, well, now I'm a beaten down soul. I'm a cry. Like, I just don't think that that's the environment for me, and I've accepted that. I appreciate the people who do that though.
You said doo-doo.
Yeah, I did. They're fighting for our rights. They're in servitude to us. Mm-hmm. The same way that you and I are in servitude to the listeners of the podcast, and we're helping their lives. It's the same thing. And I made a TikTok because in my mind, those are good men. My husband's a good man. And in this TikTok, I just noted on, I don't want to live in a world where there are no good men. If I were a woman in a world of only bad men, I'm talking like Yemen, I'm unaliving myself. I'm not doing that. A woman's husband broke her arm. She called the cops, and the cops said, if you call again, we'll break the other one. Like, yeah. What the fuck?
Yeah, people that are unaware of what goes on over there, they have no fucking idea how bad it is.
Right. Terrifying to me. And in that TikTok, I was like, ladies, we're part of the reason good men are becoming a dying breed.
That's a fact.
I was like, I don't believe all of the women watching this are man-hating feminazis. But if you are, part of the problem. We need to emotionally regulate ourselves. Why would a good man come to us if we're seeking the attention of all the bad men that we can't stand? And that's posting pictures provocatively and thirst traps and all of these other kinds of things, dressing scantily to go to Walmart.
I think when you look at the lack of good men in the home, the current situation with what women are who are having kids, and then the
Right.
current situation of the women who are currently sleeping with men,
Yeah.
the good men thing is definitely dwindling.
It's a mess. It's a fucking mess. And women, not all women, of course. And I also said this in the TikTok. If you're like a beaten dog and you're biting at everything that comes to you, you're gonna bite your dream man. And you're gonna run your dream man off because you're in a corner running around spinning, panicking because you don't know if you're safe or not, and it's because you're not regulated.
I have not seen that TikTok yet,
No.
but I will definitely watch it when we're done. Can you also remind me when I do that, because I will get sidetracked, that I'm still looking for that Western shirt?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to read a super chat from Jenna.
ahead.
Please never stop saying the quiet part out loud. It's a reminder that nobody is really alone in their struggles. The world needs more of that. I agree. Scrolling down. Okay. Zach said wartime absence of men in the home is also contributing, I believe.
And I want to touch on that too. I watched another video. Dude was in Vietnam at 19.
My dad was 17 when he went. He lied so that he could go.
It's insane to me. That's insane to me. I think there are very little boys nowadays who would lie about their age to go to war.
I think that most people now would lie to avoid going to war.
Right.
Yeah.
But he was talking about he went to Vietnam. He was in special forces. He was doing all this like SEAL Team 6 shit.
You want to answer this real quick?
Is the women's group help to self-regulate? I believe so. 100%. 100%. I don't remember what I was saying.
You were talking about dude going to Vietnam at 19.
I was going somewhere very specific with what I was saying. And I don't remember what I was saying before I was leading into it.
ADHD brain for the win. I have yet to hear Peaches say something that isn't true or has made me look at the younger me with the most understanding side eye ever. I think that one of the things that we need to do also is try to find some sort of teleprompter or app or program that we can pull up on a screen that can transcribe as we talk.
Okay.
So that as we do that, we can scroll back and find what we were talking about and catch that thing. Somebody asked how to get to the Discord. You get to the Discord by joining our Patreon at the $15 tier or higher. Okay. Let's change pace because this has been kind of upsetting, sad, and we should do something that feels a little bit better.
All right. I'm still eating.
Okay.
I haven't even started eating my second taco
Well,
yet.
you eat that taco, and I'll interact with the chat while you
You
do
can
it.
read.
I can, huh?
Or if you want to interact
Thank
with
you
the
for
chat.
that.
And you don't have to read if you don't want to.
Peach inspires me to be the woman my man needs. He deserves the best, and if I'm not the best, I'm failing.
Thank you for that. I get a lot of mixed emotions when people tell me that I inspire them. And the reason for that is people create their own image of me in their minds. And if your created image of me in your mind is what you're using to validate or rationalize or whatever, I don't know. That makes me uncomfortable. I go down rabbit holes like that. Because I see comments all the time of, oh, we would be best friends. You don't know me. Right?
You get that every day.
I know. And there's a concern there for me that because I'm a role model and I inspire women and people look up to me, that I'm going to fuck their lives up.
Two things. Somebody said they wanted to know three things because I'm going to touch on Abby's comment too. For those of you who want to send an email and send it to tobebetterco@gmail.com. The number 2, right? 2, bebetterco@gmail.com. Abby said, I wish I had a teleprompter. You could buy one. Elgato makes a really good one that I'm a huge fan of, but you need an iPad for it. The other thing I wanted to tell you, Abby, is that when you get to 10,000 followers on the Fritz Baking TikTok, shout out to her TikTok, by the way, you're going to have to start doing content that is 1 minute. So you either
Yeah.
need to slow down your content or you need to pause and have conversations about what you're doing while you're doing it, or you will not be able to monetize your TikTok. The other thing is somebody said, those are badass pants. What kind of pants are they? Thank you for that. They're Jinkos. They're Jinkos.
Don't say anything else. Hang on. You damn right my man's over there looking fine as fuck in those Jinkos.
She came in the house and she goes, can you just stand up for me, please?
I did. Yeah, I didn't even kiss him yet. I walked around, so when we were walking through our front door, there's a, I hate it. It's a wall that has a cutout in it. And it separates me from my husband, so I have to walk around it. It's stupid. But I walked around it this morning, and I saw the Jinkos, because he was facing his computer. And I saw his Jinkos peeking out from under his desk, and he turned around. I was like, can you just stand up for me real quick? But then, like, I was going to ask him to turn around so that I could look at his butt, but he sat back down before I could. You're very much like a go, go, go person.
Damn. Too much shit going on.
Yeah. Slow down just a little bit so I can take in that apple pie of an ass.
Take it in at the end of the day. You got a picture of me wearing my glasses.
I know. Oh my God.
That's a plus, right?
Seeing in your glasses does something to my heart. I'll tell you what it does. It gives my heart a boner.
It's a stroke.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yep.
That's funny. Somebody said, can we get back to the kid thing? Chris, what made you change your mind? Man, it's such a loaded question. For everybody that's like, I miss my Jinkos, just know that you can buy them again. They're expensive as fuck for a pair of pants, but the website's back up. jnco.com. Kickwear just came back out with their clothing too. They are back on their website. I got an email about that too. But I like my Jinkos. As for the what made me want to, I was semi-retired. Had enough money that I could leave and do pretty much whatever I wanted to do, and still had revenue coming in. I could have lived in a van and done the van life thing because that's what I wanted to do. Our situation played out the way that it played out, and I didn't want kids or to get married. I got both. There's I think that I believe in free will. I truly believe in free will, but I also believe that God gives us what we need when we need it the most. And I believe God put you in my life. And yeah, there's things there that may not have gone with my plan, but looking at the current state of affairs of our life, I think that I'm supposed to be here for those kids. I think that I have a very big role in what's supposed to happen in their life. And if it wasn't for the situation of us and me getting rid of that, we wouldn't have the podcast.
No.
We would have a very, very different life. Both of us would have very, very different lives. And I think a lot of that's divine intervention. As for why I said, fuck it, I'll be with a woman who had kids. She checked every single box I had as a woman. The conversations that we had before we started dating about what relationships should look like and what we expected from the opposite sex, and the ugly conversations of divorce that we were having because we had both had them, and what relationships, what we failed in our relationships. And it wasn't about blaming the other person. It was accountability. And there were a lot of things that just went into that. So I don't know. I saw value, and I saw something that I wanted to have in my life forever, and I made it happen. The kids were something that I was going to have to deal with. That's how I viewed it in the beginning.
I know.
And then it became something that I was excited about. And now I get told I'm the best dad ever. And I get told that, how come you and mommy slow dance in the kitchen? Right? Why do you guys?
Why don't we ever hear you guys argue?
Right. Why don't you argue with each other? Why is it that you guys kiss each other so much? Right? Like, we're providing an example to. That doesn't matter. That wasn't the question. I think that this is exactly where I'm supposed to be in life. So you need to share this whole thing as a clip so I can share with my man who's hesitant to be a father figure. He's hesitant due to his past, but he's great with my daughter. There could be a whole lot of reserve there. There's a level of for ladies, for you, those of you who have kids and that have custody of their kids, and you are trying to find a man to bring into your life, you need to understand that in doing that, we understand that if we're together for 20 years and we help you raise those kids and we end up not being together anymore,
Never see that kid again.
those kids aren't mine. I have no right to them unless
Right.
they're adults and choose to be around. And the chances of them taking well, that was my dad for 15 years, I'm going to talk to him. No, they're going to take the mom's side.
Right.
The chances of being in that life is very slim. So like we are emotionally attaching ourselves to a human life that isn't ours, that doesn't share our blood or DNA, and doing the best we can to
You have
raise
no right
them.
over.
And at the end of the day, we have no right to them. So if we're there for 10, 15 years and we get to like drive them to prom for the first time, or we take our kid on the first hunting trip, and like we do all of those things and we truly bond to those kids, when the relationship ends, and if you look at the history of your relationships, they fucking ended.
Right.
Right? Like it says a lot about a man who's willing to step up and be a bonus parent.
Yeah, it does. I couldn't imagine being a man and like stepping in for a little girl, right? And being there for her since she was a toddler, seeing her through high school, and then all of the sudden, first day of college, her mom decides to leave me.
After you've helped pay for it.
Right. And now all of a sudden I'm seeing by proxy wedding photos on Facebook.
Yeah.
When 2 years ago, that was supposed to be me there walking her down the aisle.
Yep. Exactly. That's exactly my point.
I couldn't imagine that.
Yep. And then there's other factors to take in too, along the lines of like, well, what about co-parenting? If the co-parenting between the mom and the dad is good, that's a fucking win. That's a beautiful situation. There are jealous men out there who won't be able to handle that alone. But then you got to really look at the other aspect. Is there healthy co-parenting there? Or is there a bunch of fucking bullshit that I'm going to have to deal with because you've got kids and an ex?
Yeah, why is your ex calling you at 2 a.m.?
Right.
You guys text all day, every day. I know you're not talking about just a child.
Right. Well, it could be a lot deeper than that too, though.
Yeah.
And not just in a jealousy aspect, but in a, kids need clothes. Kids got a doctor appointment. Kids need whatever. Well, where's his half of things? Oh, he doesn't have a job. Well, that's not my fucking problem. That's his. Why am I paying for his kids? Right. And there's a level of, well, they're my kids now, so I have to be the one to do that. And then as people see that, they start to take advantage of it. Well, if they've got money and they're doing well, why should I have to give them anything?
Matter of fact, they should be giving me something.
Yeah.
The fuck out of
There's
here.
a whole
with that.
fucking...
Hang on, don't scroll down yet. Go back up to that comment. So you need to share this whole thing as a clip so I can share it with my man who's hesitant to be a father figure. If I were a man and I was hesitant to be a father figure and the woman I was with sent me a video of another man saying, yeah, you should do this, it would piss me off.
Why?
Because I feel like you haven't heard me at this point. You're still pushing for what you want.
I mean, and that's factual.
Right.
I don't know if I would be mad about it. I got to be honest. There's so many broken men out there that need mentorship and guidance.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I can't even fucking make my point because I think you're right. I think that ego would get in the way and most men would be pissed off about that.
Right.
I believe you, which is sad because there are a lot of men out there who need that little bit of push. There are good men out there who don't want to fucking go the route that I went simply because they're afraid of what will happen.
Right.
And this falls into the, is it better to have loved and lost or never loved at all?
Better be loved and lost.
Right.
100%.
Right.
And I used to be the person I would rather not loved at all than experience this.
You know, one of the few things that I got to see growing up from a healthy parent perspective was a guy named Tim Walker.
Yeah.
My mom dated him for a short amount of time. He was a roofer. He was an alcoholic, but he was a really good man when it came to me. And I learned a lot about how to deal with the kids by him. Right. And like that man made such an impact on my life that it fundamentally changed my personality to a degree. And there was things that I had to build on and learn from. And if there's a good man out there that gets with a woman who has a kid and that they've got a shitty dad in their life, that little bit could be the difference between somebody fucking making it through adulthood or not making it to adulthood.
Yeah.
Right? Like there's, you never know. But I also understand the fear of it and the risk. And there's definitely a fucking risk there for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're right. I think you're right. I think the ego would make that a harder conversation. I think that a lot of people need to realize that we need a community.
Yeah.
Right. And you can call it mentorship or coaching or counseling or therapy or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but we don't have elders of our community anymore.
No.
Your grandparents are thrown in a fucking old people home. You go see them on holidays. There's no community there anymore. When you sit down at dinner and you're having a bad day and you're telling your parents about it, your grandparent isn't sitting there anymore to break down what's really going on with your emotions and give you a wise life experience expectation or example of why you should, do something different. That's the whole thing.
I want to touch on the ego thing. I think men would get pissed off of that because it's another man saying something that their woman wants.
I don't agree with.
No?
I think it's because it's pushy.
I think that some men would have a problem with, why don't you just go be with him then?
Yeah. There's definitely men that'll do that. I don't deny that at all. Somebody asked if you got your Bronco wrapped yet.
I did.
Yep.
I did. She's pretty in pink.
Special breeds seem to be the ones that try to teach others. So I don't know how much of my book I want to talk about, but I have something that I've developed that I believe that are the 5 pillars of manhood. And the first one is the warrior. That's what we do when we're teenagers into our adulthood. You look at people who join the military right out of their teenage years.
Super chat if you want to stop on it.
I believe that all young men should become a warrior before anything else in life. The wrestling, physical sports, combat, things of that nature that allows us to test our ability and see our pecking order in humanity. And then it goes into husband, father, teacher, and elder. And I believe that is our role as men through life. And you have to go through the first 3 in order to gain the teacher or elder aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Because how are you going to teach somebody something that you haven't done?
Right.
It's all hypothetical. Martina said, as a welder, I have always been in a masculine mindset. Your podcast has shown me I can be in my feminine. Thank you for helping me find a beautiful balance between work and home. A new level of peace was achieved.
Oh, I love that for you.
Yeah, it's gangster.
That was really dope.
Yeah, guys, I don't have a book yet. I'm writing it. I have the 10 chapters that I want laid out. I wrote the introduction and the first 3 chapters is completely done. The next chapter I have to write is fatherhood, and I've been fucking off on writing it because there's a lot that I have to compartmentalize in my brain before I start that out. But
you said something and I wanted to say something else and then you kept going.
What was it about?
I don't even remember.
Was it about the 5 pillars of a man?
No.
No, I don't know beyond that. All right, let's get into that email. Feel good email. Now that you're done eating.
Peach and Chris, I have been trying for months to figure out how to express my gratitude. I still cannot find the right words, but I'm going to try my best. I first found Peach's TikTok account in 2022 when a video popped up on my For You page.
Pause. For anybody that wants to follow Peaches on TikTok, she's almost to 1 million followers.
I am almost,
It is To Be Better Peach. It's the only account that's got over 900,000 followers on it. There's a lot of fakes. I've been going after them. I get a sick satisfaction of getting fucking accounts deleted.
Oh, and it's not a sick satisfaction.
Oh, it is. It is, because I smile every time I get the email. I'm like, yes, you
I would
motherfuckers.
too. I don't think that's sick.
Yeah.
They are using us for their own gain.
Oh, I know.
It's fucking scamming.
I've been going after Facebook and TikTok accounts daily.
I love it.
So, To Be Better Peach on TikTok if you would like to follow her directly.
Yeah, I post a lot of shit there sometimes.
We also have The Life of Chris and Peaches, which is just life shit. That one's got 300,000 followers on it, so you know you're following the right account.
Yeah. I decided to follow her. I agreed with what she said in the video and most of her posts, so I thought it would be nice to see material from someone who shares my views. Eventually, I stumbled across the podcast. To preface this, I had neither of my parents growing up. I promise this is important and not a trauma dump. I know you guys despise that. Peach, I had never in my life had a role model or found anyone I looked up to until I came across your page. Models and celebrities just never clicked for me, but you did. The nurturing aspect of you, hearing your story, learning how you found your strength, the woman you used to be, and the woman you are now is incredibly motivating. You make me want to improve myself and heal a part of me that only a mother could understand. I hope that one day I could even be half the woman you are.
Pause. You weren't half the woman that you are.
What do you mean?
You were not half the woman that you currently are.
When I was toxic?
At one point in your life.
Oh, God, no. I was... I'm just thinking of, like, the foulest women.
It doesn't matter how bad your life is. You have the ability to change it.
Yeah.
Like even if you're if you're the reason, that's the best fucking possible thing because you can be the reason to change.
Yeah. I was a woman. I had a spending addiction. I would spend money and then I would ask people to help me pay my rent. I would be in a relationship and then I would download like random chatting apps that you talk with strangers just to get attention. I would use Snapchat as a way to derive attention as well. I'd post pictures of myself and I mostly only had men on my Snapchat. So it was just a constant, oh my God, you look great. You look fantastic. So sexy. All of these kinds of things. And I was doing all of that shit in relationships. I've emotionally cheated. Looking back, I would not have called it emotionally cheating. Me now, I 100% did that shit. Almost every relationship that I was in, I was not a good person. I was controlling. I had very high narcissistic levels. I did not care if you were upset or whatever. I'm upset right now, so fuck whatever you have going on. We need to fix me first because I'm the priority here. I was very combative. I enjoyed arguing. If I could get the person I was with worked up and they would fight with me, it was a sense of love for me. It was a sense of they're fighting with me because they love me. If they didn't love me, they would just walk away. And that's a toxic mindset. Yeah, I was a real piece of shit. I was addicted to my phone. Oh,
Yeah. No, I'm listening. So you were addicted to your phone.
we can move on.
I was just going to say that she wants to be half the woman that you are. If you weren't half the woman that you are, there's fucking hope for anyone.
Yeah.
Anybody can actually do the fucking work to change. We were both pieces of shit. So,
Yeah. I was addicted to my phone. My kids would be crawling around in diapers and I'm not interacting with them. They have all their toys. We have Coco Melon on the television. They're occupied. Why do I need to be doing anything right now?
right.
Yep.
Got a super chat real quick before we go back to the email from Jade that says, this podcast changed my life to help me see my flaws, take accountability, and leave a dead-end relationship. Now I'm in the healthiest relationship I have ever had, a place I couldn't have imagined a year ago. Thank you.
Beautiful.
All we did, all of this is nothing but shared information.
Mm-hmm.
This is not, we're not therapists. We're not fucking doctors. There's no counseling here. This is trial and error.
Yeah.
We read this. It made a whole fucking lot of sense to us. We talked about it. Now we're sharing it.
We went to therapy and this worked for us. So now we're going to talk to you guys about it.
That's it. Okay.
People bitch about how expensive mental health care is, but we're here doing it for free. But because we're not licensed, they want to challenge it.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
You tell them, babe.
Continuing on. I want to acknowledge you for sharing your story. You have shown me that having empathy is embracing my femininity and that I can be nurturing without being taken advantage of. You can demonstrate that I can be strong and sensitive at the same time, and that I can be feminine and still wear dark colors, and that femininity isn't a clean girl aesthetic, but rather gentleness, sensitivity, empathy, charm, collaboration, etc.
I agree with that. It is 100% how you carry yourself.
So yeah, that whole clean girl aesthetic. So I'm debating on whether or not I want to say this out loud. I'm going to say it out loud. So if we are judging based on appearance, if somebody looks clean, that means that they're feminine. But they could be a raging bitch behind doors who is abusing their man. And a woman who dresses like a slut could go home and be the best traditional wife that there is. There is absolutely nothing based on appearance.
Well, I mean, in that aspect, no, there's not. Our appearance is what we want to project to the world.
Right. That I'm commenting on the clean girl aesthetic because aesthetic was thrown into there.
I get that.
Everything is not looks.
Right.
Social media does a really good job.
It's a lie.
Of making everything look like it's looks.
Yeah. This is don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
Or a video game. Don't judge a video game by its cover. If you're old enough to remember Nintendo, like the original Nintendo, you know that that's bullshit.
Yeah. Continuing on, the perseverance you showed in your weight loss path has given me the hope to start my own. Your candor about your experience with borderline personality disorder gave me the courage to go back to therapy and find the right medication for me. Your backstory encouraged me to become a better woman. The way you prioritize your self-care made me recognize just how essential it is. How you handle your kids had made me realize that I can be an amazing mother someday and that it is a choice. That the way you have broken generational curses has inspired me to break my own. I need a second.
Let it out, babe.
That's a lot. So I really do. I know that we don't have minors watching our podcast.
Yes, we do.
We do, right? Not 9 years old, not 10-year-old kids,
Uh,
right?
Not many, but yes.
Parents put us on. Sometimes the kids are in vicinity. They can hear what's happening. We've affected families because their children have listened and they feel like they have a room to talk now. And it's a whole thing. But I know that a vast majority of our audience are adults, 20, 30, 40, 50 years
25
old.
to 35 is our key demographic.
I feel like a mother to every single one of them. Logically, I know that they're adults, but when we are reading emails or we're having interactions in chats and people are thanking us for something and all these other kinds of things, I just want to give the little them a hug.
I know that we've changed people's lives by the way that they interact with us when they see us in person.
Yeah.
Because there's always, it doesn't matter where we go. If we ever hit an airport, somebody's fucking crying and hugging us. It happens all the time. And there's people that recognize us that won't say shit. You can tell they recognize us because they're looking and whispering and playing with their phone real quick and pointing to their phone.
My aunt noticed that in Hobby Lobby the other day.
Yeah.
She was like, only one person walked up to us, but so many people are looking. And I was like, it's a normal thing.
Yeah. I do believe that we are healing broken children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you guys see us in public and you want a hug from me, you just got to ask for the hug. Don't go for the hug.
Yeah, ask.
Ask for the hug.
It's got to be a warning.
Yeah, I need a heads up for it. I need to do a quick mental prep. Like when someone knocks on the door and you have to throw a robe on real quick.
Yeah.
I have to.
A mental robe.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Chris, I have 2 very close men in my life, and both of whom watch your videos religiously. Both of these men have put in the work and completely transformed, and you are their push. Your vulnerability, and especially your influence, have forever altered their lives, and I see it. My future husband in particular took the leap and started therapy because, in your Voice of the Broken video, he heard from a man that it does not make him weak to need help. Hearing your perspective on the podcast has helped make me a more understanding partner in ways Hearing your perspective on the podcast has helped make me a more understanding partner in many ways for my future husband. Thank you for helping me see just how vital men's mental health is. To both of you, I simply cannot put into words how extremely grateful I am that I came across your podcast. You are changing and saving marriages, relationships, and lives. Through the years of watching you two, there have been days when I had to close my laptop because what one of you was saying didn't sit right with me and triggered me so much that I had to stop watching. When this happened, I would reflect and dig down to the root and understand why it bothered me so much. I love that you did that instead of just going, fuck those guys. I'm not watching this anymore.
Right. That's the difference between those who need to hear the podcast and those who don't.
Right. I also love that every time you think about ending the Voice of the Broken, it gets brought up.
I haven't done a Voice of the Broken in probably a month.
That is incorrect. You made one about your book the other day.
No, I meant like an actual podcast episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't done an actual podcast. I want to talk to men. I don't want to read emails.
Yeah.
I want a Zoom call. I want to sit down and actually talk to people. And if I can't do that, I don't know if I'm going to continue to do the Voice of the Broken. I understand that telling people stories helps others.
Yeah.
But it's not the same having a conversation as reading and then just giving my perspective. But I know that 1, men aren't willing to have the conversations. It's hard for them. And 2, there's a security thing there. Like people don't want to fucking be on there and have their coworkers hear that they were on a podcast talking about how they were fucking abused as a child. Like there are certain things that like just not worth talking about. Like it happened. And I'm okay. I'm not.
But I haven't killed myself.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Continuing on. Eventually, my views evolved on almost every one of those topics, and I have recognized that you were right. It's like when your parents say you'll see when you're older, and then when you're older, you finally understand what they were talking about. Had that moment the other day.
What do you mean?
Because I heard that a lot in my childhood. When you're older, you'll understand. When you're older, you understand. And this might be cocky of me. This might be egotistical of me. I feel like my understanding is greater than my parents were when they told me that.
I believe that. I believe that. I think that you and I are so much further evolved than the people in our lives because of the work that we've put in over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years ago, I wouldn't have said that. 2 years ago, I have a whole lot of people in my life that I'm a baby to them. Like, I don't think that's the case now. And that could be ego, but I think that's life experience. We've been doing a lot. I saw a couple comments about how people said that they would love to have a one-on-one session with Peaches for therapy. Go follow To Be Focused on TikTok and YouTube. To Be Focused.
Yes.
Coaching starts in January.
Yep.
There'll be 12-week programs. I'm not going to get into the price of shit right now, but there will be, we can do one-on-one shit. We can do couple shit. Like,
I'm going to do the whole four-person team.
There will be options.
Yep.
We actually need to lock all that down and get that website built. But
yeah.
Somebody said,
Right there, Lewis.
What?
I can do it, Chris. It's time for my story to be told, and it's a long one.
Email me, tobebetterco@gmail.com. They'll forward it to my personal email, and then I'll get back to you. How would you be able to gauge interest for VOTB calls? Like finding men that would talk about wanting. I honestly don't know. I don't know how I would even go about trying to do that because
men are so recluse.
It's not just that. They're liars. We have gotten people who have sent emails that just want to be recognized. They want 15 minutes of fame, or they want to try to get on the podcast, or they tell stories. You can tell when you're lying in a fucking email.
Right.
A lot of that shit gets kicked back. Like, we don't even see it. We saw a lot of it in the beginning.
We did.
And then, now that we got screeners, we don't see it as much. But I would absolutely like to go that route. If I could spend one day a month and do 4 calls and schedule all 4 of those calls for podcast recording, that's the month of work. Like, that's easy for me. It's 4 hours. Who gives a shit?
Right.
But anyways, if any of you men are wanting to do that, tobebetterco@gmail.com, we'll get it to where it needs to go.
All right. Continuing on. Good girl. When I found your podcast, I was trying to learn to walk again, but somehow you both taught me not to only walk, but to keep myself balanced on a bike and give me the courage to push off without anyone holding on. Oh man, I remember that. I didn't learn to ride a bike until I was like 10. And my babysitter taught me how to ride. I was so scared. So terrified. Going down the driveway was the most daunting thing of my life. And when I got to that bottom of the driveway and I just kept going and I recognized that I can do this, I was unstoppable. Getting past that fear is it's simultaneously one of the hardest and most easiest things I've ever done.
That's why it should have happened when you were 5, not at 10. That's the confidence building. That's the self-worth. That's the I can do this.
Well, that's also non-active people in the household.
No, I get it. I get it though, but that's what I'm saying. Like, those victories starting very young and that's the time frame. 5 to 15 is when you need to be establishing all of that.
The confidence.
Right. So like Little Man and Princess learning how to ride their bikes at 4 and 5.
Not just bikes, they're e-bikes.
E-bikes, right? Like they're doing the fucking thing, and quads, and like they are learning life lessons, but they're learning that like,
if I get hurt, I'm okay.
It's not that I can't do it, it's that I don't know how. Right? And that's a conversation now. It's no longer I can't, it's that I don't know how. Mm-hmm. But as they realize that they can do it, they just have to learn the steps to do it and then put the reps in to make sure that they can do it properly. That should have been 5, 6 years old, not 10. Yeah. That's the difference between an 80s baby and a 90s baby. Because my entire till I was 15 was spent on bikes and skateboards. You leave when the sun comes up, come home before the streetlights come on, because, super chat. Final super chat. Heading back to work. Peace, love, and happiness always. Thanks for the super chat. We appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Guys, if you want to have your comments read, super chats guarantee that it happens.
All right. I have so much learning to do, and I know that I have only just started mixing the ingredients for my cake. But one day I hope to see you both at my wedding. I am currently growing my TikTok account, and in the last few months I have grown so much, and I'm helping to change people's lives too. I hope to get big enough to come on your podcast one day and share my story with you both. That is a dream I refuse to give up on. In one episode, you talked about your turning points, the moments that made you want to become better people. Peach and Chris, you are my turning point.
Damn. It got me too.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yep. That catalyst shit. I do want to get to the point where we start interviewing people again. I really do. I know that they didn't do well. I know they fucking didn't do well in terms of numbers.
Yeah.
But it filled my cup. It allowed me to have conversations with people and learn new shit and have social interactions.
I think if we do that, I'll sit on the sidelines as you interview people.
Yeah.
I felt like a third wheel in interviews.
Is it because I talk so much?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get into it. It's I am a social butterfly once I get to like comfortable with somebody, and I it's just who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But it's forever a snooper chat. It's official.
Oh, yep. Well, that's the third time.
Yeah.
Isn't that Beetlejuice rules? It's real now?
Yeah, it's real. That's funny. That was a good email. That was definitely
a really good one.
Definitely a feel good. Almost made me cry a couple times. Move.
I really don't take it lightly, guys. Like, especially to the women and the young women, the young girls who listen to us. I don't take it lightly that you guys look up to me and that I'm a role model for you guys and that I inspire you to make change and all of the other positive things that you throw at me and all of the accolades and effort, I suppose, that you throw towards me, give me credit for. There is a very real fear in me that I don't believe anybody deserves anything in life, right? I worry about being undeserving of this platform. I worry about being undeserving of having so many eyes on me and having the affection of so many people. People on the internet call me mom.
There's a whole TikTok trend based off of you.
Like,
have you seen that? It's the mama said.
I did see that. Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot to process. That's a lot to take in. 5 years ago, I fucking hated who I was and everybody in my life couldn't stand me. And all of a sudden, I'm fucking sliced bread. There's a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of worry. I cry. I didn't have that growing up. I didn't have somebody that I could look to. Period. Everything that was in my life, I didn't like looking at it. And, you know, growing up watching Judge Judy and Jerry Springer and Maury, like...
all that drama. You're downplaying the whole sliced bread thing, and I don't really appreciate it.
What do you mean?
Because you're more like a thick Texas toast. With real butter, not margarine. Like...
yeah?
Yeah, like properly cooked in an oven.
Yeah.
Right. With like a good crunchy edge with a really soft gooey middle.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit of like basil on the top of the bread because you know it's going to go in some tomato soup and you want the flavors to match. Don't downplay. don't take away my Texas toast.
You make me feel good about myself.
I love you. You should feel good about yourself.
I love you too. I love you so much. I know that being with me is not easy. And I appreciate your patience with me struggling with my mental health and continuing to grow as a person.
Ivy's jealous.
Yeah, she'll get over it.
All right. So we have another email, guys. This one says, it's for Patreon. How y'all have helped me change and a huge thank you. I know I've really been active in the Discord and have loved getting to know everybody, but I wanted to share my story in an email for you guys directly. Before I'd started listening to the podcast, I was in the ending stage of a 3.5 year long, very toxic and abusive relationship, the severity of which had caused my mental health to crumble. So much so that I decided to voluntarily admit myself into a psych ward for inpatient care. My stay was a little over a week long, and through my time there and the conversations I had with some wonderful people, I finally decided to put myself first and leave my relationship. After being discharged, I was able to get a spot in a woman's protective shelter where I ended up living for almost a year. What's the thing? What's the Dr. Phil's wife's thing?
When Georgia smiles.
Look into that if you guys are in abusive situations. When Georgia smiles.
Or when Georgia smiled, something along those lines. Robin's mother was named Georgia, and she created a domestic violence organization to help women get out of situations like that.
Give me a kiss and go back to your chair. Okay. Lilo jumped.
She did.
It scared her. Okay. On my first day there, I felt like I was at rock bottom. I felt alone, lost, and absolutely broken. Trying to ease my mind and not think about how much life sucked at the moment, I discovered you guys on TikTok and saw the video of Peach talking about taking Chris's boots off. It was visible how much pride she took in doing that as she was speaking, and I yearned to be a wife who could love her husband like that. From there, I knew I needed more and went to listen to my first episode of the podcast. It was the very first episode of The Side Piece. But y'all called it The Side Show at first. Your positive energies and outgoing yet straightforward personalities immediately captured my attention. The more I listened to you guys, the more I realized how far I had distanced myself from my true values and wants in my previous relationship, and was no longer the kind of woman who I took pride in being. You want to take over?
Yes.
Thank you.
Down. Good girl. Fast forward to today. I started college. I almost read that as collage.
I started a collage. We're putting shit together.
I started college. I almost did it again. And am in sophomore year of getting a degree in film, which is something I always wanted to do, but never had the motivation to follow through on. I'm currently on the top 1.4% of almost 9,800 students and made the dean's list last semester.
A degree in film. What does that mean? Like you do, because I hear film, I think, because I'm a photographer, I think you're learning film photography, but I'm assuming this probably means video.
When I hear film, I'm thinking like,
you're
trying to go to Hollywood,
right?
And,
production director. I
stage hands or whatever.
I don't know who this is. I would like to know who this is, and I would like to know if you're actually doing video work. And if so, can you email us about that? We'll get back to that later, but just as a note, if you hear this.
She does this thing where she makes prolonged eye contact with me. What is that?
She's checking on you.
Right. No, but like she's just staring at me now.
She's checking on you. That's part of what she's trained to do for your service animal.
Is that not like an affection thing?
It could be.
Prolonged eye contact?
She's checking to make sure you're okay.
Yeah. Watch your foot, baby.
Dakota did a good job with her. She's fucking smart.
Get comfy, cozy. Okay. Learning about Peach's weight loss story also motivated me to start my own weight loss journey. And I've lost almost 90 pounds in the last year. I've completely cut out anything unhealthy in general, and I have been sober for 9 months as of writing this email.
That's awesome.
Seeing how you guys explain your relationships with God has also helped me feel more comfortable to reconnect with him myself. So much so, I was saved back in June of this year.
Love that.
Oh my goodness.
She's had enough of you.
Yeah, she's like, I'm done. I got my love. You're fine, Mom. I'm going back to bed. Okay. I want to get baptized.
Okay.
I've thought about that a lot. I want to do what Mike and Katie did.
Yeah. You want me in the tub with you? I've already been baptized.
Is it like against the rules to go again?
No.
They're going to be like, oh, it's only once. We're going to have to kick you out through the back door.
Yeah.
All right, continuing on. I am currently dating, and it's been challenging, but you guys have set my standard, and I've been committed to sticking to it. You guys have helped me realize that I am a good woman, I am deserving of love, and that good men are out there. But I have to work hard to build myself up to be the kind of woman who deserves a good man.
I'll pause you for just a minute.
I'm going to pause there too, so you go ahead.
We see that somebody on Facebook said that I'd like to hear both of your testimonies. Guys, you need to join our Patreon. Patreon gets a side of us that the regular internet doesn't. When we record our podcast, those podcasts go on for much longer than they are actually put out.
Right, we edit them down.
Right. And you guys will hear those conversations. There's a lot more history there and vulnerability, and it's a lot. Yeah. And I understand that like we don't post every single day on Patreon, but you get access to the Discord, which creates a community. It's $15 a month. It's 50 cents a day.
Right.
If you can't invest in yourself 50 cents a day to improve your life, what are you doing?
Right.
Okay.
I wanted to stop there because ladies, I'm included in this. We know how hard it is to find a good man. Now flip that coin and imagine being a man trying to find a good woman in today's age.
Most of us aren't trying anymore.
There's no point. A woman can walk into any building and leave with a single man.
Yep.
You could go to Home Goods. If there's a man walking around in there and he's single and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't reach this thing on the shelf. Can you help me? He's going to be all about it.
That's funny.
Men have it so much harder. And when men do find a woman, hey, I don't like it when you post your tits on Instagram. Oh, you're fucking controlling, you
Yep.
piece of shit. Now I'm leaving. It's a struggle for everybody right now. Good women need to keep looking for the good men. And good men, I'm going to pray for you. For the first time ever, I feel like I finally have a sense of self and a solid foundation under my feet. For the first time ever, I have hope. And you guys are such a huge part of that. You guys saved my soul and strengthened my heart, and no number of words could help me thank you for that. Oh, fuck me. You really had to say that we helped save your soul. Okay, so this, I'm going to finish it. No, I'm going to say this. I don't know. This might sound stupid or crazy, or I might need somebody else to tell me this. I really can't tell the difference when I have a random thought and I think the Lord's talking to me.
Yeah. You want to elaborate on that?
I just read that, right? And it's making me emotional and I'm fucking feeling things. And I just heard, this is why I'm having you guys do what you do.
I believe that.
This is why I'm pushing you through the things. And I don't know if that's me making up something in my own mind to make myself feel better about what's happening, or if that's actually the fucking Lord.
Depends on your belief system.
Right?
My mom has told us since the beginning of this, when we were just on TikTok, that we have a ministry.
Right. I did not mean to get religious on you guys like that. That's
It's
just
part of who we are. If they don't like it, they don't have to watch. I'm not going to apologize. I'm not sorry for it.
Is there a way to tell the difference of that shit though? Like, has anybody figured out?
I don't know.
I don't want to think one of my own thoughts is the Lord's thought, and he's like, no, bitch, I didn't tell you that. Oh, goodness. Continuing on. Please keep doing what you guys are doing, and don't ever let the hate make you stray from your path. You guys do truly, what you guys do truly is its own ministry. And y'all are saving, yeah, scroll down, babe. Lives, mine included. I am so blessed that God put y'all in my path, and even more blessed to be a part of the Patreon community and get to interact with everyone personally. Thank you both for sharing everything. And I'm going to read the name. This is from Iggy. Shout out to Iggy. Thank you so much for sending that in. That was a good email, too.
Banging out the feel good stay because fuck yeah.
Oh, damn. Someone just said, I'm a Satanist and I love you guys.
I don't think that matters.
I don't, you have your relationship with whomever you deem as a higher power.
Right. I think
That's not affecting me.
I think that comes down to understanding that everybody has a choice to make.
I think it comes down to people don't like not being in control. And if they don't understand something, it scares them.
Yeah. People that don't like you because you have a different faith in them is because they've been taught to hate.
Yeah.
It's not you following your faith. You should have the freedom to do what it is that you want to do.
Right. Yep. Okay. Continuing on. Good morning.
Email.
New email, yeah. Hello, Chris and Peach, or shall I say, my knowledge brokers. Adding that shit to my resume.
That's funny.
Yep. Yep. I hope you both are doing well. I know this is late, but better late than never. I also didn't want to write this email or send it until every aspect of our update was 100% the truth. I didn't want to create any false narrative or write something that wasn't better for us in other areas of our life/marriage. First off, I want to applaud my husband. Y'all, this man truly did and is continuing to do the work he needs to. The first thing he did around this time of our first email was delete TikTok. It was a big issue for him with all of the women that would show up on his FYP. By deleting it, I offered to do the same.
Love that.
He
That
did
was
it-
how we got rid of Snapchat.
It is. Yeah. That is exactly how we got rid of Snapchat. We were working out in the gym. We had a gym in our garage. This was years ago. We had a gym in our garage and we were working out, and I don't remember if I had a random Snapchat notification.
That's what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Oh, and I told you, I was like, I have no idea who this dude is. Some random dude found me on Snapchat and was sending me pictures. And I was like, I have no clue. You were like, who is that? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Some random person on Snapchat. And a few minutes later, I remember I went to the house. I came back out of the house into the garage. I was getting a water or something. I was taking your meal prep out of the air fryer. And I opened the door and you were like, I'm deleting Snapchat. And you're like, I was like, okay. And you were like, I don't like the way that just made me feel. All of that just played out, I don't like that. And I don't want to put you in that position. And I was like, okay. And he was like, and you said, would you mind deleting Snapchat as well? And I was like, no, I don't care. You taking that first step and showing the commitment. If you were to just ask me to delete Snapchat while simultaneously continuing to do your own thing, that's dirty.
Yeah.
Right? The commitment to our relationship is what did it for me.
Having a conversation about, I don't like the way that made me feel.
Yeah.
Versus, who the fuck you talking to? Why you got guys Snapchatting you? Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Much healthier situation.
Right.
Desired outcome was super easy and we didn't fight about it.
It took 4 minutes.
Yep.
Yep.
I want to touch on the TikTok thing before we move past.
Okay.
Second vote of the hoodie. Oh my God. I don't understand what the hoodie thing was.
Oh, I don't know.
But if you guys are looking for hoodies, we have them on tobebetter.com. The TikTok thing, you can teach your algorithm to stop showing you thirst traps.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard because some shit is forced onto your feed. I will get maybe out of every 30 or 40 videos something slightly inappropriate, but if I just scroll right away, it goes away.
Yeah.
And if it starts to show up, I just start not interested in all that shit. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, but they know what you're watching. They know what you hesitate on, and if it's a song
Curated.
or if it's, yeah. So it takes a little bit of doing.
I'm almost certain that they're now tracking our eyeball movements on the screen. So if the first thing you look at is tits and ass, they're going to give you more tits and ass.
That's the Apple,
Is that what that is?
whatever the Oculus, it's not an Oculus, it's the Apple Vision Pro. When you put that on, it tracks your eye movements. That's how you're able to do everything. There's no clicking. So
That's
like where
crazy.
you look, if you want to open an app, you look and you swipe and you do shit with your hands and it reads it. But they track all of your eye movements. That somebody said that Apple is able to tell within 9 seconds of you using it your sexual orientation. I might be wrong on the 9 seconds.
I heard that too.
Yeah. Yep. Apple Vision. See it? Yep, right there.
That's wild.
All right, let's get back to this. We did the TikTok thing. Okay, here.
Next, it took him a little while to get started, but he happily went through Team Vulnerable and completed it. He struggled with doing his homework, but he knows he can do it and wants to. Through the course, he identified the areas in his life that were his major struggles.
Pause real quick. For those of you who don't know, Team Vulnerable is owned by Emmanuel and his wife. He was a guest on the podcast, and they help people with porn addiction.
Yep.
Pornography. Can't use the P word.
Yeah.
I believe we have a code to be better to save money there too, but I don't remember.
Is that the end thought?
Yep.
I won't fully get into it, but that is his to share. However, he realized that he uses corn and sought attention from women when he started feeling alone in his childhood, early teenage years. He did this for so long that he couldn't see it as an issue. But now he knows. He has also gained skills on how to handle and deal with his temptations. Honestly, he has only had a few temptation moments over the past 4 months. The first time he had one was when I was busy doing things out of the house, but he was home with our son. He took that time to be off of his phone and played with our son the entire time of that temptation till I got home and we talked.
Love that.
We discussed what the trigger was and how he was feeling and what he needed.
A support system.
Yeah. This shit ain't for the faint of heart.
To be someone's support system?
To love a man through a corn addiction.
No, it's not.
That is not for the faint of heart. Not all women are built for that. You can say that. That's okay.
Be honest.
Be honest about it. If I had to help you through a corn addiction and I went shopping and I came home and I had to hear you say that you were triggered by seeing an attractive woman on your phone and that you wanted to go self-pleasure, that'd be devastating to me. It would crush me every single time I hear it. Taking into account that it's happened a handful of times in the last 4 months. Kicking any type of addiction sucks. There's caffeine addiction. I love you enough to see past my own selfish hurt of my husband's eyes are going elsewhere. That's the surface level. Underneath that is, this is a man who is broken, who's trying to piece himself back together. And I can either help him do this or I can just kick over whatever he's put back up and make him start all over. The second time was when I was doing self-care and he called me. He grew the confidence that he can call me whenever he's feeling tempted, no matter what's going on or what time it is. Since April, I've told him and shown him that I'm here to listen and navigate anything with him.
It's training.
Yeah.
She's really reinstilling that it's okay to do that.
Yeah.
First time he did that must have been fucking hard. Now to do it's probably a piece of cake because he knows that she's not going to overreact to the situation. Yeah. Yeah, we train our partner how to deal with this.
Yeah. There was one time I went out of town for a few days and I told him I needed him to know I was here for him while on a girls' trip. He truly dropped his shoulders and, feeling blessed, all he could do was embrace me and give me a kiss. Not trying to be gushy. In that moment, he really felt seen and heard, overwhelmed he couldn't say anything. The past 4 months in my mind have been an emotional roller coaster. I've really struggled, especially in the beginning, but I truly think I've grown from my emotional outbursts. I've found that when I'm most emotional, it's when I feel unseen and unheard. We had a few breakdowns, and I know I still have to work, and I know I still have work to do, but I think I've gotten better. I'm most emotional when, right? She just noted, I am most emotional when I feel unseen and unheard.
Most women are.
Babe, what's your problem? Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just upset today. We sit on surface level emotions and don't deep dive anything. When I'm having a really hard mental day, right? Like my borderline's kicking and I'm not 100% me. And I'm in my feelings. Anything, right? And our relationship could be a red flag when I'm like that. So being able to sit down and say, I'm emotional when this happens to me. I'm emotional when I feel this way. That's a big deal. We had a few breakdowns, and I know I still have hard work to do, but I think I've gotten better. He has told me what he needs from me, one of which is to go to therapy. I've contacted a few places, and I'm still on a wait list. I was going to try BetterHelp by financially. It would be best if I didn't. It's actually cheaper for me to go to an in-person therapist than an exclusively online therapist due to insurance coverage.
You have access to it, though. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Peach, you have shown me that when feelings get too much, I should do some type of embrace. When I now feel myself having an emotional breakdown, I give my husband more physical touch. I either hug him longer, or if he's on the couch, I lay on him, or sit on the ground and lay my head on him. I found that I have a better time giving him more love when I'm emotional. It somewhat grounds me. I'm gonna pause there. That is one of the things that I have done in myself when, right, because my emotions 9 times out of 10 can be super irrational because of my borderline. And this is going to sound really unbecoming of me. I'm laughing because it's stupid. This is going to sound really unbecoming of me, and I bet a lot of people would be embarrassed to say this kind of thing. When I'm highly emotional, anything can set me off. You can look at me the wrong way and I'll be like, all right, my husband's planning to leave me. What am I going to do? If I walk past your desk and you don't look at me while you're like focused on whatever you're focused on, oh, well, my fucking husband hates me now. Great. And I have to battle those things in my mind, and it's a lot.
You know, over time that'll go away.
Yeah, it's gotten easier. It's definitely gotten a lot easier. When I'm highly emotional, though, like when I'm having a really, really bad day, that's all that consumes my mind. I'm fighting for my fucking marriage to make sure that I'm not self-imploding and self-destructing, and make sure that I'm not allowing my mental illness to bleed into reality. And in moments where there is an imaginary slight that my borderline is latching onto or I'm making up to feel upset, I go to you and I give you some type of affection. I go out of my way to be more loving, to combat my toxic traits. I'm doing something that I've never done before and it's fucking working.
It's working. It's all that matters. The compression when you're emotional, the hugging you and shit and touching you when you're emotional and like even especially when we're in conflict, and I've said this before, is fucking hard for me. Like especially if I'm elevated, because I am a no touch person. Like I don't crave physical touch from anyone. I enjoy it when we touch, when I'm happy and loving and like it's a very different process for me. The moment that I get into emotional brain, trauma dictates that people leave me the fuck alone. Like I don't want to be touched. And so having overcome that has been a difficult thing for me, but knowing that it helps you and knowing that it's decreased our disruptions has made things a whole lot easier. Yep.
I give my husband more physical touch. I either hug him longer, or if he's on the couch, I lay my head on him. I found that I have a better time giving him more love when I'm emotional. It somewhat grounds me. But it needs to be on me to do that because I get flooded with always being touched and can get touched out quickly. He didn't know for a month why I kept doing what I was doing, but I told him 2 weeks ago, and that conversation was probably the best we've had about my emotional regulation.
Love that.
I also want to thank both of you and the Discord community, mostly the public women's group, for pointing out and showing me how I was withholding sex from my husband. I didn't think it was that bad, but it turned out to actually be happening quite a lot. I still have times when I'm just so tired or not in the mood. That usually happens around 10 p.m. or later. I hope one day to get into the private women's group and grow myself even more, but that won't be until at least next year or so. So I want to touch on that real quick. The private women's group at $115 a month is not the only option anymore for ladies. I now have another group at a lower price point for $50 a month called Women's Thrive. It is kind of like the light version of the private women's group. There's a monthly book reading. There's an in-depth monthly challenge, once a month phone calls, and then
Your WhatsApp group chat. You get access to you.
Yes, but uninhibited access? That's not what
I wouldn't say uninhibited because that's not true. They have a more direct line of communication through WhatsApp, though.
A more intimate way to communicate with me through WhatsApp is a better way to phrase that. So if you were holding off because of the price point, there is now another option for you. And I'm in both group chats every day. Interacting with people, checking up on challenges, all those kinds of things. Oh, which, by the way, women from my private women's chat, this is officially your 4-hour warning for our group call today. Continuing on. Overall, that's just all that I can think of for our minute, or for our update, minus me adding that we have finally had our date and talked about what we want for our marriage moving forward. We are more aligned than we have been in a long time. There's a lot to work on, but we are more connected than ever. Thank you again. I'm attaching a picture of us here so you can put a face to the names.
I know that's not Tony, but tell me that doesn't look like Tony.
That does look a lot like Tony, yeah. I love that email.
Yeah, it's nice to read some feel goods. Somebody asked a minute ago if they can have their emails read if they're not a member of Patreon, and I really quick want to touch on that. Yes, you can, but understand that we get 100 to 500 emails a day depending on the day. Some days they're light, 100, 150 emails. Sometimes it's a whole lot more. If you want to get your shit rushed through, Patreon guarantees that we read those first. I actually think that now that we're talking about recording at home again, knowing that we don't do shit at night, we should probably start banging through some of that backlog in the whiskey room.
Okay.
Maybe do like a single email. And if it's 15 minutes or an hour and 15 minutes, that could be something that we do just to run shit.
Okay. I'm try to do it tonight after kids go to bed.
We can. You have 45. Oh, wait, it's only 12:12. I thought that said 1:12. You gonna keep going?
Yeah, we can. I want to smoke.
You don't want to smoke. You want to take a break.
Maybe. Can we put on the we'll be right back screen?
We can. You want me to mute the mic?
Yeah, if I could just sit here for like 4 minutes.
Guys, I
need a break.
We're going to take 4 or 5 minutes. That gives me the opportunity to take a pee.
Okay.
And then we will jump back into emails. Don't leave. The chat will still be going. I'm going to put the mouse cursor in there so that Carrie can continue to talk, so that Carrie will be in the chat with you guys while we do this. Here is the break screen, and we are now going mute. Okay, we're
Yeah.
back.
Hello.
I feel lighter. You feel less nasally.
No, I still feel very nasally. You asked me twice if I'm ready to go, so.
I asked you once, and you were like, yes, no, wait, and then you spit
And then you asked me again.
to make sure. Do we?
No, we're here.
Okay. Zach was serenading everyone. I see that. All right, next email.
All right. First off, I'd like to thank you for doing what you do in the world. You guys took the opportunity God gave you and ran with it, and it's been amazing to watch the growth. Started listening to you both in January of 2023. I'm still not perfect, and I never will be. What?
That was the halfway mark.
What was?
January of 2023. Because we turned 1 in December of 2022.
Really?
We turned 3 this year. In 13 days, the podcast turns 3.
No, it doesn't.
We're in year 2 right now. Season 2 episode, whatever. Season 3 starts in 13 days. Well, I mean, it technically starts next year, but we've
Right,
already
no,
recorded
We've already
it.
recorded it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Hang on. I need a minute. I feel like reality and time just hit me with a brick wall. This has been my life for 3 years. This is going to be the rest of my life.
Well, it'll be the start of the 3rd year. We got this. I don't know about for the rest of our lives,
Yeah, I don't know. 2024 has been really rough for me mentally.
but I would like to see this be a long-term thing. I would
Yeah.
very much like to be doing this when I'm in my 50s. I think the
Yeah.
wisdom that I will have in my 50s compared to what I have in my early 40s would be very different.
I want to be a very long-haired white woman. Long-haired, white-haired woman. I'm already white.
I was
going to
say, because I mean, you're almost
No, I
there.
already
You just
nailed
got to grow
that.
your hair out, babe.
I just have to get to 50. I want the white hair. I want to, yep. And when people ask me, why is your hair so white? From all the stress that I went through to gain the knowledge to help your bitch ass.
That's funny.
Okay. All right, so now we're going to read. I'm still not perfect and never will be. However, everything about me has changed for the better, and I'm sincerely grateful to you both for giving me the opportunity to hear what I need to hear, not always what I want to hear, to push me to make the changes that I need to make. I don't think anyone will ever fully grasp how many lives you have changed and saved just by being authentic in who you are and being open about it. I want to include some notes about my past because they pertain to my growth as a human. Don't worry, we're only going to talk about my part in all of this.
Love that.
What was done to me does not matter anymore, but how I choose to react does. When I think back to how I acted, even just 5 years ago, my thought is, girl, what was that? Because, wow, I used to be toxic. Girl, what was that is in all caps, everybody. I need you to know that. So she's not just questioning herself. There is a scolding happening. I was fully the type to call over and over and over again just because they weren't answering. Oh, I did that shit too. And if I sent a text message and they didn't respond in 5 or 10 minutes, I'd send more and more and more. And if I didn't get a response, then I would start unsending messages. Because you're not reading what I'm writing, now I'm going to unsend it because you're going to have to ask me, what did I send? What did you send? What did you write? Why did you unsend it?
Yeah, there are men out there who aren't going to ask that question.
No, I know.
I'd be like, oh,
And I just moved on from them.
You obviously didn't want to talk.
Yeah. I'd move on from them.
Yeah.
Because
They wouldn't play your game.
At that point in time, all I cared about was the attention I was getting. There was no end term goal. I'm not trying to be a wife. I need to feel like that I have value as a woman based on my body. Yep. I was a mess. I was fully blah, blah, blah. I read that. I kicked and broke a man's windshield because we were getting pulled over and he wasn't pulling over fast enough. Holy shit. I was a complete alcoholic, drinking all night, acting like an entire fool and getting wrapped up in not so great situations. See, my acting out was all verbal and mental shit. I never physically did anything. I never broke anything. I never kicked anything. And in my mind, that was okay. Because I'm not doing anything physically. I'm just being a woman. Right. You just can't handle me. I'm too much for you. Too much of a woman for your wimpy man hands to handle me. When in reality, I was the problem, and I was just trying to make myself look better in the situation.
You just got a Women's Thrive member.
Oh, I did. Hello. If they hit me up on WhatsApp, I want to add them to the group chat super quick. I don't like making people wait for that thing.
In 2019.
In 2019, I was informed of the fact that I have autism and BPD, and that I needed to come back to be fully evaluated. And like normal, in past me fashion, I left and never went back. When 2020 hit, I ended up broke and lonely in a duplex in Lehigh with a roommate and my pets wondering how in the world I ended up like this.
Pause. Somebody on Facebook asked if this is their real page. There's a blue check mark on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, this is us.
This is us.
And we're live right now.
And I wish that we could get it on Instagram, but they want me to unregister on Facebook and re-register on both. And as much of work it was to get registered on Facebook, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So just find the accounts with the largest followings.
Yeah, that's us.
We're at 190 on Instagram, almost 700,000 on Facebook, 1.3 million on the main account, 967,000 on yours.
On mine, yeah.
And then the life account's at 300,000.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. It took me until October.
It took me until October of that year to finally realize I needed to stop the drinking, and by March of 2021, I had moved back to Pine Island to be closer to my grandparents and to fix myself. Somehow, I expected to do that by just ending the drinking. I was still making the same decisions, hanging out with the same people, and sitting in the same toxic mindset I have. Fuck, I'm so sorry, guys. Just give me 1 second. Apparently, I'm really burpy.
Pine Island's in Lee County.
Pardon me. Yeah, the person said Lehigh.
Oh, I didn't hear the Lehigh thing. I must have been reading ahead or reading the chat when I heard Lehigh. I just saw Pine Island. And I was like, is that in Pinellas? That's close to us. Yeah, it is. It's Lee County.
This is exactly why I stopped talking when you text on your phone or something.
I wasn't on my phone when you said
right,
Lehigh.
but you were distracted.
Right, I know how that feels.
Excuse me?
I know how that feels. Sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Okay. No, I was just pointing out that.
I know we do it.
Right. No, but you die on the hill that I can pay attention to everything you're saying while doing something else.
I can multitask better than most and keep up better than most. However, sometimes I hyperfixate on something to truly understand shit. When that happens, the world goes silent.
Gotcha.
So it happens.
I have opened doors back up with my ex at one point. Nothing had changed. I was just broken and didn't understand boundaries. I used to do boyfriend nights.
That's what you called it too.
Yeah, that is what we called them. We called them boyfriend nights because I did not like being a woman. Even at that point in time, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That was a chink in my armor. I wasn't even willing to call it a girls' night out because that felt gross to me. But our boyfriends' nights out, because we were all girls, but we called it boyfriends' night. We would go to a bar and we would drink until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It really didn't matter what day it was because we were all working at a tattoo studio. And if the children were at their dad's house that week, well, I got nothing going on Wednesday morning. I can go out and drink until 2 o'clock. Why not? When I decided to stop drinking, life is wild. So I was doing my thing before we started courting. And then we started courting, and I was out one night with the boyfriends at the bar, and we were texting back and forth. And suddenly you were like, I'm not okay right now. Like, I'm not cool with you being at the bar. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just I'm feeling fucked up right now, and I don't know what's going on with me, so I'm going to go silent for the night. And by that point, I was drunk. Like, I'm not leaving the bar. But you feeling a certain way about me being somewhere and you not being there to keep me safe was like a light bulb moment for me. I've never had a man react that way or respond that way. And knowing that even at that time when we were just courting, there wasn't even a guarantee that we were going to be together. Mm-mm. We were just courting. And I felt important in that moment. I don't know how else to explain it. and I was lit. And still, even through all of the drunkenness and being out with my friends and doing whatever I was doing, I was able to see that somebody has an elevated feeling towards me, and because I'm not with them right now, or they don't believe that I'm safe, they're fucking going through it. Yeah. And this might be kind of shitty of me to say, this might be selfish of me to say, but I've craved that. I've craved wanting to be somebody's everything. And that night, you were staying at a mutual friend's house. And that night, I left my car at the bar. And I went home with our mutual friend, and I slept on the couch.
You know what's really crazy?
I don't know what, yeah.
You don't speak to a single person that used to go out with in that group. Not one of them.
Nope. That night was the last night that I went out drinking.
Yeah.
Did not do it again.
Well, the friendships continued for a little while.
A little
but
bit.
They all fell off.
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what I was thinking in going to the house. I just knew that you were feeling fucked up about something that I did, and I had to make it right. And I didn't like that.
Yeah, it was kind of weird waking up the next morning and you were being in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean it was weird? Because you told me that was a super meaningful thing to you before.
It was, but I mean, hindsight 2020, you should have came to the bedroom.
You texted me good night.
You could have crawled in there. I'm just saying.
I did not know that was an option.
It's probably better that you didn't. But
we hadn't even slept together at that point.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm breaking into a man's room right now. What if he shoots me? Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I also didn't want to wake you up. Like at that point, I knew that you had insomnia and you weren't sleeping well. So we got to the house at like 2:30 in the morning. And a few days later, you're like, yeah, I heard the garage open. I knew that you guys were there. I was like, fucker, you could have walked out, get a glass of water, see what was going on. But that was definitely, I don't think I would have done that for any other man. I have not done that for any other man.
Well, I mean, you better never do it again. Should not be another man.
There won't be.
There you go.
What I mean, I have not. I mean, in my past relationships.
I'm trying to be funny.
Okay. I want to make sure that wasn't a miscommunication
No,
with me.
that was...
No, sometimes, I'm going to be totally honest, I feel like I'm an absolute dumb fuck when you're trying to be funny because I think that I messed up something and you're trying to correct me.
No.
Versus...
No, just trying to be funny. Trying to contribute to the conversation.
You're funny. I'm the issue sometimes. I take things super literally and I have to... I'm like Drax.
Nothing will go over my head.
I'm too fast.
I will catch it.
Back into the email. Eventually, Hurricane Ian hit in 2022 and everything was destroyed. The island was in bad shape and my apartment was being sold due to the intense damage it sustained.
Hurricane Ian. If Hurricane Ian did not hit Florida, we would never have created a podcast.
No. Nope. Hurricane Ian hit and it pushed both of us out of the tattoo studio.
Right. Didn't have a choice.
Right.
We had 23 people under one roof from 3 studios into one building.
And it's really crazy how the whole Hurricane Ian thing played out. I had surgery 2 weeks prior to Hurricane Ian hitting.
Yeah, you still had your plastic balls.
Yeah, I had my lady balls.
Drainage.
When those things got removed, that shit hurt so bad. I just had like a little PTSD flashback. But Hurricane Ian, I had my surgery, so I had my piercing apprentice taking over at the studio. And then Hurricane Ian hit, and there were talks of me becoming a stay-at-home. Like, it was a whole thing. And then Hurricane Ian hit, and I didn't have an option. So if 4 weeks into me being a stay-at-home, I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to go back to work.
We'd have made it work. We would have.
23 people there. I don't think I would have done well with that.
Probably not.
Right?
But we would have made it work.
Because we had to expand the studio because of it. We knocked down walls and shit. Like,
yep.
a lot happened.
That is a long-term expense for a short-term problem. Right. That jumped our rent up $1,500 a month at the studio. Yep.
Yep. Hurricane Ian was wild.
Yeah, it was.
You're right. If Hurricane Ian didn't hit, there would not be a podcast.
Divine intervention.
Yep. Crazy. Crazy. Everything seemed to be falling apart, and I was close to moving to my mom's in Indiana because I couldn't find a place to live. February rolled around, and I shared a random post about insane rent prices in Florida on Facebook and commented about my situation. An old coworker responded saying that he had a room for rent if I was interested. We had worked together at a restaurant for close to a year, I think, and had stayed friends through social media ever since. I had already found you guys through TikTok at this point and had started listening to the podcast and trying to work on myself. Right after I moved in, a video Peach posted on TikTok popped up on my feed. It was posted on March 20th, 2023, if you want to watch to see which one. Oh, I have no idea. She said something annoying. She said something about knowing she's Chris's piece. That clip hit me hard. I joined Patreon and started listening to you guys constantly, and when I moved in a few days later, he heard me listening to you both and offered for me to put it up on the living room TV. Okay. I love that. Just two written interactions based with that dude. That dude sounds like a pretty good guy. He was willing to open up to his home to a person in need. And then she was listening to a podcast and he was like, hey, put that shit on the big TV in the living room. That's the common space.
Right.
That's like, you just got elevated in privilege a little bit right there.
Yeah. That's funny.
Not only is that public space, that's my space. So if I come home and I want to watch my TV. Yep. Am I still your piece?
You are.
Do you still feel like I do a good job of accomplishing that?
That TikTok I made last night didn't solidify that for you?
You know what? It did. And I guess I'm fishing for further validation. And now I feel weird about doing that because I'm living in the moment versus looking at the big picture that you did make that TikTok last night. So you're right. Yeah.
I read a little bit ahead of you.
No, you cheater.
I like the foundation of this. It feels very us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now I want to read what you read. Hang on.
We'll read it.
I don't know where I'm at. Okay, hang on. I want to find it. We continue to listen to you every time we had a chance and learned that we have many of the same values.
As friends.
As friends, we had conversations about what we wanted for our future partners, and the lives we wanted for ourselves and our future kids.
There you go.
By May, through these nightly conversations, mostly started by things in the podcast, we became close and spent most of our time outside of work together. Talking, joking, watching psychologists and scientists and podcasts. Oh, God, yeah.
That's the foundation.
Yeah, it's taking me back.
Yep.
All the trips we had and watching Avatar and sending articles back and forth while we're working and shit.
Yep. Trauma dumping on each other with no expectation. I can't stress enough how important it is to actually become a friend with somebody before you actually try to do something.
And being a friend does not involve having sex.
No, it does not.
I don't think we've ever had one menial conversation where we weren't sure what to say. Memorial Day weekend, a coworker asked me to house sit and watch his dog while he was out of town and offered to lend me his kayaks. I almost said khakis.
Kayaks.
I almost said khakis. Fuck you guys. Fuck everybody who just laughed at that. Park the car in Harbour Yard. I can do that one. I was going to say khakis. And I corrected it mid-word.
She sounds hideous. Well, she's a guy, so. Yeah. What are you wearing? Jake from State Farm. Khakis.
She sounds hideous. Well, she's a guy, so. Oh, God. I want to get into acting. The wheeze. Okay. Let me his kayaks as a bonus. I took him up on the offer and invited my, at the time, roommate/friends. This ended up being the best first date of my life. This was also the day he stopped everything in the middle of kayaking, risking flipping his kayak over to get a coconut. I already knew then in that moment that I was going to fall in love with him. That coconut is now a little tree in our front yard. By the end of the day, we decided to give us a real shot. Oh
I
my
love
God.
that. Are you reading ahead?
No, I'm processing because that's cute as fuck, right? And if he hurts her heart, I'm gonna have to hurt him.
They're close enough that you could do it.
You're right. Oh, the threat's so much more real. I'm kidding. It's all a joke. I'm not leaving my house. Don't worry. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. I just want to talk. No. It's Peaches from To Be Better. Open up. Oh, man. Since then, we continue to grow together. I've learned to trust again and embrace my softer side. Every day, we're getting better at communicating, discovering new things about how our brains work. This man has changed my view on what a partner is. Someone truly willing to walk with you in your growth and grow with you. Someone willing to be goofy with you and talk about all the crazy things that make no sense, but debate about what type of cheese is better. You know what? If I put my glasses on.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works.
You guys see me over here fucking squinting? I went from reacting out of pain and anger to being able to listen and respond out of love and care. Instantly, the first sentence is so much better when I put my glasses on. From panicking over everything and finding reasons not to go home, to being calm and thoughtful and fighting to get home earlier. From going to bed as soon as I get home to staying up late just to talk to him more and not even realizing how late it is. Skipping dinner because I was too depressed to cooking dinner nightly because he loves it. We are currently building an edible landscaping business. Building an edible plant and fruit tree nursery, growing our little farm, and working on creating a property that is able to sustain our food needs, all while I'm still working full-time off the property, and he's working part-time off the property. That was so much because I'm hung up on the edible landscaping, right?
Yeah, I was just thinking, go ahead. Go ahead.
The edible landscaping, I was picturing like edible arrangements. I was like, are you guys gonna go out there and are you gonna try to put like sticks of pineapple in people's yards, like, and try to make it look nice? That's the Florida sun is not gonna agree with that.
Pineapples grow really well in Florida.
Right? No, but I was thinking like star fruit on individual sticks. Welcome, guys. Have you tried our yawn pineapple? But now knowing
Right.
like apples and cucumbers and onions, that makes a lot more sense. What's your thing, babe?
I want to start giving free shout outs on our podcast for business owners and our Patreon. We did Abby the last time that we recorded. We didn't do one today. So today's episode is brought to you by Better Built Dogs.
You want a dog?
Lilo needs some Better Built Dog training.
Oh.
She does. You need it. You need it fucking bad.
Yeah.
Dakota if he was close, you'd be going to school.
Boot camp.
So for those of you who are interested in dog training, check out Better Built Dogs. I want to start doing that for everyone in our Discord that has a business.
All right.
And if these people are in Lee County, they're close enough that we can go check out what they're doing and make content.
Oh, yeah.
I want to support the people that are supporting us.
For our next commercial, don't let me forget, I want to do Allie.
Got it.
Okay. It's been hard at times, financial troubles, mental troubles, not having free time. Having the information and knowledge on how to navigate all of this is all thanks to you two, and I'm sincerely grateful for everything. Also, this is not from me. She wrote this, I promise. Also, any woman listening should read The Surrendered Wife if you're not in a relationship, and The Surrendered Single if you're not. Oh. Read The Surrendered Wife if you're in a relationship, Surrendered Single if you're not. If you're struggling with the traditional aspect and how to navigate it, just trust me and read it. Peach recommended this book a long time ago, and it helped me so much. So now I'm not just telling you to read the book. Somebody else who I told to read actually enjoyed it and is telling you to read it.
Yeah, there you go.
All right.
All right. So we're we're coming up to like an hour left of the podcast. Do you want to stop reading emails and just interact with the chat for a while?
Yeah, I like to do
Okay.
some Q&A.
Okay. All right. So we're here. So is Lilo. Even though you guys have seen her this entire time, I have not been able to because I've had a big document pulled up over my face.
Hate this.
Alyssa said, really want to talk to you guys. Need your advice with my relationship. Very stuck right now. Very lost. By the way, love you guys. You can send an email to bebetterco@gmail.com. Jay said, fly to the farm and make some content. Just joking because I don't know how well that would go over with censorship. That would be a Patreon exclusive episode. You're taking a break. If you decide to go...
We're not flying to Vegas this week. Sorry, guys.
Hang on. Hang on. There you go. Oh, wait, wrong one. There we go.
I'm so sorry, My man thinks I'm sexy as shit, so anything that I do in front of you guys does not matter to me. I feel so bad about making Carrot gag, though.
Abby said I just gagged so hard. That's so funny.
I'm very flummy.
She said me and Lilo need some air. That's so funny.
I'm very flummy. We're getting really cold in Florida. And I'm waking up every single morning with my nose clogged. Like, so clogged to the point that I blow and blow and blow and my ears are just popping. So, I'm having a lot of phlegm drainage happening right now. I have a postnasal drip. And, I don't swallow snot. So I spit it. Almost spit out my coffee. LOL, love you guys. I'm glad you didn't. I did just turn many stomachs, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, no, fuck you. I'm pretty sure I'm close to throwing up lunch. That's funny.
I don't understand.
What?
I coughed and went, Did I miss something? Like, nothing was seen.
That day that you were like, oh, I spit on my fucking shirt. Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's so funny. I'm so sorry, Zach.
Oh, man. Jay, we were gonna try. We were gonna try to come out to Vegas this year, and then things made it so that it didn't happen. But if we don't do Tennessee, we could go to Vegas and do the Christmas in Vegas instead. I think a lot of people would look at us like big fucking losers if we're in a casino on Christmas Day. They'd be looking at us.
I'll
like,
go play poker on Christmas Day.
Why are you here, you fucking degenerate gambler? Like,
because my ex-husband asked to have the kids for Christmas this year.
Yeah.
So we are going to be doing what we would be doing if the children were grown, living on their own.
It's a joke.
Oh.
Most people don't do shit like that for the holidays.
Oh, see? I missed it.
This live is so unhinged, and I'm absolutely here for it.
Yeah.
Husband and I quit smoking cigarettes about 2 months ago. We have now found all of our missing lighters. That's funny. Darth said advice on finding a partner while widowed with 2 kids. I don't have time right now to go out or get into a hobby that gets me out of the house, but that is the plan in the future. Well, if that's the plan in the future, the hobby that gets you out of the house is where you're going to find people.
Right.
I 100% do not envy anybody in the dating game right now.
Oh, God, no.
And I wish I could give you great advice on how to find somebody, but stop looking.
Yeah.
I honestly believe that that's when the person that you need to find is going to be there, because you're not looking intentfully for a partner. You're not weighing every prospect. You'll create a natural, honest relationship with somebody, and then things could potentially evolve from there. That's my answer to that. Am I the asshole for not consoling my son's bio dad when he lost his grandma? We don't have a great relationship, and he doesn't respect boundaries, and he thinks
Oh.
I'm his safe space. I told him no, and now he's mad.
Nah, I don't play that game.
Yeah.
No, you're not going to disrespect me and my boundaries and treat me like shit, and then all of a sudden you're having a hard time in your life and want to come and cry on my bosom? We're exes for a reason. You had that opportunity.
Yeah, you fucked that up.
Yep. Sorry your grandma died. That's not my problem. I would be that cold about it.
You are fucking cold.
I am.
Cold-blooded.
Check it and see. Oh, wait, that's hot-blooded. Cold as ice. I'm cold as ice. That's the one. Willing to sacrifice our love. Dun, dun, dun.
Amber said, yes, Chris, that's when I realized my person was already there. Dating today is wild. I'm good. Go ahead.
I'm really hung up on what I just said about sorry your grandma died. That's not my problem. I would say that to my ex.
Yeah?
I would.
I would just simply say, I'm sorry for your
Yeah.
loss. What do you want? What do you want? That sucks to hear.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here for you. Is this about the kids? No,
Yeah.
fuck off.
All of the shit that I've experienced, right? And this isn't speaking to one person specifically. I have a lot of fuck yous in my book.
Yeah.
And after my experiences of feeling like I don't matter and that I'm just being used, and very clearly you're getting something out of me, and if I ask for anything, I'm an inconvenience. Yeah.
Pay attention to them actions.
I would prefer people to see me as a see you next Tuesday and never talk to me again. Oh, me telling you I'm sorry your grandma died and I don't care, or it's not my problem, hurt your feelings? Thank you. Don't talk to me again.
Heather said, I know you've given ton of advice, but what is one piece of advice you'd give a newly married couple? The super chat. Snooper chat. Trying to make that a thing.
In 5 years when you're pissed off at him, remember your vows.
I think people should have their vows printed and hung so you can see them if you wrote them.
If we didn't have a window above our bed, I would want them there.
Yeah. I've really been thinking about cutting that wall out and putting that big sliding glass door up on the back of our house. That might be a 2025 goal if we decide not to sell and move.
Don't tease me with that.
Yeah. For me,
I love home renovations.
number one piece of advice, or one piece of advice, not number one piece of advice for a newly married couple. Start the check-ins right away. Start the check-ins while everything is good, so that you can learn how to communicate as things are moving along and you don't have to do that shit in conflict.
Yep.
Another piece of advice that I would give is remember that you are combining two lives together in one household, and there's going to be a whole lot of triggering situations that you're going to come across in terms of living together, and handle it with grace. Remember that you are dealing with a whole other person over there that's got a completely different perspective or outlook on life than you do, and try to deal with things as they come from that perspective, not from a you thing. Yeah.
You know, I'm hung up on my, can I say the C word on here? Or will that immediately get us cut off?
What, the see you next Tuesday
Yeah.
thing? I would probably not do that just for...
Okay. So to add on to a level of that, I have this dude who reaches out to me every year, maybe every other year. I haven't seen this dude since 2015. And once a year, like clockwork, usually around February, March, he'll send me a message if I miss you. Yeah. Dude is an absolute failure when I knew him. I don't even read the messages anymore. I get sent to my blocked inbox or whatever. But one year, maybe 3 or 4 years after I ended things with him, he hit me with that I miss you, and I was just pissed about it. I don't want to see this anymore. And he creates new Facebook accounts to continue to reach out to me. So I'll block one, and there's a new one popping up. And he keeps the same name. It's not like he's changing the name to be this incognito. I don't know what it is. But he hit me with that I miss you. I was like, bitch, I would miss me too.
Yeah. That's funny. That's so funny. Lexi said, totally agree. I wish I had check-ins ages ago. We're about to celebrate 9 years married and 15 years together on December 31st. Love that shit.
Bravo.
Those check-ins, those check-ins are a way to learn how to talk to each other. Do I need to come off you again?
No, they can't see me.
there's a reason that we wrote the questions the way that we did, and there's a reason that we formatted the check-in list the way that we did. It's not so that you can have the hard conversations. It's so that you can learn how to have the hard conversations and then implement it into daily activities and not have to have the check-ins anymore. So, all right. Heather said for another super snooper chat, what is your favorite memory y'all have made together? I know y'all have a lot, so good luck. I could fire off a whole bunch of shit that is
like rapid fire them.
Yep.
You go first.
St. Augustine Lighthouse.
Yep.
Everglades with the kids.
Yep.
First time we went to Vegas. First time at a Louis Vuitton store. Coming home with your Kia Carnival. Arizona. The very first Tennessee meet and greet. The first time that you did a family holiday with me and the Jannies in Tennessee. I could do this all day long. I have a lot of they're all
special in their own right.
Right. They have a place. So
favorite memories.
Using a hand signal in front of 40 of our closest friends at the time to make you leave a conversation to come to me just to see if you would.
I did too.
They were mid-sentence. You just walked right the fuck away.
I was like, excuse me, ladies.
Wow.
And I floated.
My man beckons.
Yeah. Toodaloo.
Photo shoots.
Photo shoots are a good one. Yeah.
Sharing a consciousness with you for 3 hours was something that I don't think that I could ever truly express to anybody.
Oh God, no.
That's just one of those things.
That was definitely a once in a lifetime experience.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many. You dropping me off at my apartment on a cold night after seeing a movie together. And you sitting there watching me walk into my door before you drive away. Seeing your lights turn on through my apartment window and then knowing I'm about to get a text message about how you hate you're leaving.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. The first time we went away together. First time we went away together was across the state.
That was when you found your faith, isn't it?
No.
No. Okay. So then it was a photo trip. Okay. Yep.
Yep. Getting our Bibles together. The first time that we held hands and prayed together.
You want to talk about a nerve-wracking experience?
Yeah.
Because it's my duty to lead the house
Yeah.
in spiritualness. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know how nerve-wracking that is because I was standing there going, thank God I don't have to do this. I don't know what to say.
That's
I don't know if
funny.
I'm going to fuck this up. But I was super supportive of you doing it because
Yeah.
I knew what I was feeling standing there. I didn't want to do that.
I think God knows our heart regardless of the words. I don't
Yeah.
think there's a right way to pray or a wrong way to pray.
I hope so. Sometimes I sound like an idiot.
Oh God, it's me, your boy.
There are some times where I'm like, oh fuck, Jesus, so sorry, Lord. I just need your help for 1 second. Can you just hear me? I'm so sorry. Yeah, there's times where I'm definitely crashing through his front door unannounced.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm, for some reason, carrying a torch and a baby shoe, and nobody knows what's happening. Yeah. Waking up in Thailand together on the first day.
Yeah, Thailand was fucking.
Yeah.
That's not a favorite experiment. Like the experience is a favorite, but that's a favorite life experience.
Yeah. When we lay on our pillows and face each other and talk about stupid shit and make each other laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, those are good moments.
Every time you give me a forehead kiss.
I'm covered in dog hair and it's making me itchy. You still trying to think of things?
No, I have so many stupid things. Like I sit on the couch and you stand and watch TV and I will sit. I will just watch you watching TV. Like
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to stand. It hurts to sit.
Yeah, No, but like, no, that's always been a thing for you, standing up and watching TV.
Yeah.
Even in our courting, that's something I noticed that you did.
Really?
Yeah. That you don't always stand and watch TV. But if you're walking around the house, you definitely do that dad thing where you'll just stand there with your hands on your hips for 4 or 5 minutes and then move on.
Oh, man.
And I love that you do that. I love that you fidget with your toes when you're thinking.
All right, that's enough of that. That's personal. People need to hear about that.
Oh, okay.
Next super chat.
You showed off your toes picking up a gallon of water.
Yeah, I did, but you don't. That's
Okay.
That's a character flaw. Like my fidgets and shit. Like
I don't think that's a flaw.
it is to me.
You need
Like,
to back the fuck up.
That's a tick. Like that's a tick.
That's a cute thing that I'm enamored by that my husband does.
Okay.
I feel like I need to reprimand you for talking bad about my husband.
What you gonna do?
Let me think about it.
Over Thanksgiving, I finally got my husband to watch your advice on cutting off toxic family, and it's never been a more relaxing holiday. Thank you for the sanity. For my sanity. You're welcome. I'm glad that you guys got... You can mean mug me all
There's
you
not a
fucking
single
want.
thing that I can do
I know.
that doesn't affect me. And I'm selfish.
Heather sent another super chat. What is a memory you go back to in order to ground yourself in reality with each other, and what's your favorite Bible story?
I'm really just flipping through my Rolodex at this point. My fingers hurt, like I'm bleeding. I can't.
You should
There's not
probably
a
give
single
up on
thing.
that. Yeah, you should give up on that.
I keep mixing up. I'm so flustered right now.
Give up on it.
Right? No, because you have all the power here, and that's hot. But I also have power here, and this is too much for me. I don't know what to do with my hands. What's the question?
What is a memory you go back to in order to ground yourself in reality with each other?
Okay. That my husband chose to be with me, even though I have children. Real shit, guys. I have an anxiety around my husband playing video games. When I left my ex-husband, I told myself I'd never be with a gamer again.
Well, I'm not technically a gamer.
You play a lot of games.
I don't. I really don't.
Yeah.
When you think about my actual video game time and the amount of time that we've been together, I really don't play a lot of video games.
No, but this last year, I mean, since your injury, it hasn't been as often, but there was a point where it was every day you were playing video games.
Yep.
And it bothered the fuck out of me.
Part of that was me escaping wanting to be home with the kids because the kids were a lot for me at that time. Like there was weird transitionary. Kids go through phases.
Yeah.
Right? We all know that there are different seasons with your children. And they were going through a whiny phase where everything was a fucking whining, crying thing. And I didn't want to be around them. So instead of being there where I don't have to be there to deal with that shit, I stayed here and played video games.
It bothered the shit out of
Yeah.
me. Did you know it bothered the shit out of me?
I stopped when you told me that you would. When I realized that you were wanting me to be home more and like to be there to help you with the kids and like to help with the homework and do all that shit. When then we had that conversation, I started backing off of the video game thing.
Well, it was a conversation of our son needing help with homework and me being stressed, and it wasn't about you're playing too much video games, babe.
Right. But if I'm here playing video games and
Right.
you need help, I'm obviously not there helping you.
Right, but when we had the conversation, I didn't mention you playing video games at all.
I know.
Right. I want that to be a big thing.
Okay.
I want that to be noted because in moments, because ask when we were grounding in a relationship, those kinds of things. The fact that my husband gave up everything in his life to be a stepfather to my children, to be with me, I'm not going to say shit about you wanting to be here and play video games every day.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
I brought it up twice about you playing video games as much as you were. And both times it was about, is this going to be my life going forward? Like, is this what I need to expect out of our marriage, is you playing video games every day? It was never once, I can't believe you're doing this, whatever. I'm willing to adjust my life. And if I need to go through my insecurities or whatever inner turmoil I need to go through to get to being okay with it, I'll do that. Because you playing video games is not a bad thing. You're not cheating behind my back. You're not in secret chats one-on-one with a woman you're having an affair with, and you're using video games to facilitate that. I think that's a good example of me showing how I'm able to ground myself in a moment when I'm not happy with something going on.
Yeah. I've not really found a whole lot of moments where I needed to ground myself.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of things where I'm like, I love that woman. I love that woman. I'm not going to lose my shit. I love that woman. Like, that's not a thing for me.
That's not a thing for me.
So
either.
there's not moments where I really needed to ground myself. So I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
As for Bible story, I mean, I like the story of Samson and Delilah. I don't have a favorite Bible story.
I'm not well versed enough with the Bible to have a favorite story.
I have favorite quotes.
I have favorite quotes too.
But
Right now, I think it's the Book of Ruth. Was it the Book of Ruth? It might not be Ruth. It might have been Tamara, maybe. I don't know. One of the women in the Bible pretended to be a prostitute so she could have a child with her husband's father because he broke his promise, and she fulfilled her duty in the Lord's view by doing what she did. So I can't remember what her name was, but she married a son, and the son died. And the father was like, I'll make this right for you. You can marry my other son. And then that son died. And he had a younger son who wasn't of age yet to get married. And he's like, when my son comes of age, you can marry my other son, have a child, and fulfill your godly duty. And he ended up lying about it. The son came of age and nothing happened. So she disguised herself to be a prostitute and seduced the father. Tamar, yep. Seduced the father and took his belongings as payment. Because I don't have any money on me. And she's like, well, give me your shit. Gave her a staff, a bracelet, all these other kinds of things. Very identifiable objects as being his. And she got pregnant and she fulfilled what she thought she was sent here to do God-wise and all those things. And when it came to light, dude was in the wrong for doing what he did. He made all of these promises to her, fucked up her life, and she took power in her own hands and did what she needed to do. I like that story. It's very Jerry Springer to me.
yeah, it is. Yeah, Old Testament has some shit like that.
Yep. Naomi was her name. Naomi was Ruth's mother-in-law. Yes. No, it wasn't Naomi. I'm almost certain it was Tamar.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Yep.
So my favorite Bible quote that I've had is the first quote that I've ever memorized was 1 Corinthians chapter 13:11. And that was something that I've had like my entire life. It's been that scripture of reminding me to not be a little boy, to be a man. Like that's how I take that scripture. But while we were in Thailand, one of the girls that was in Thailand had told you that she feels like Isaiah 6:8 is very tied to us.
Yes.
And Isaiah 6:8 says, then I heard the voice of the Lord saying, who shall I send and who shall go for us? And I said, here I am, send me.
Yeah, that one hits me hard.
Yep. I think that I really do believe that this is what we're called to do. And it makes all of it that much more meaningful, especially when I've wanted to quit.
Oh God, yeah. And that wanting to quit, especially with my borderline.
Yeah.
Maintaining this as our careers. I would love for this to be our long-term careers. Has been very trying.
Yep. I will say on the video game thing, going back to it, and because I just saw COD in there, I enjoy playing video games. I don't want it to consume my life, right? Like if I have nothing else to do and I'm going to be bored, I want to enjoy my time. So like if we're both sitting at home and we can play video games together, I would much rather do that. If we're able to go do something that's going to make me feel good about my day, like I would much rather do that. Video games things to me is one of those things. It's more about passing time and a social interaction because there is a social aspect to it. And I know that I can tell the difference between wanting to just kill time versus wanting the social interaction because I will get on and not say shit to anyone and play prop hunt or run a couple matches and then just turn it off to kill time. But there is a lot of social aspect that goes into the Call of Duty thing for me as well because we have a group of friends that play all the time. So, I want to tattoo the whole chapter of 1 Corinthians 13 on my arm. I love that chapter so much. I love you guys so much. You have honestly helped me immensely in my own journey and learning and unlearning things. Thank you. Do you think that we should, Zach just suggested that we increase the price of the early access tier on YouTube so that after the YouTube money gets taken, it's the same as the Patreon tier and give them access to the full Discord?
Okay.
Is it something you want to do or you're okay with? Like,
I'm okay with that, yeah.
okay. We are coming up on 1 o'clock. Oh, it's after 1.
We're coming up on 3 hours.
Jesus. Yep. I've been diagnosed with borderline, and I'm curious, how would you describe yours? I wouldn't even attempt to describe mine. Everybody's issues are going to be different.
Yep.
Your traumas are borderline personality disorder stem from trauma.
Which means it's tailored to you.
Right. Yep. Yep. Thank you guys for doing all of this. Thank you for doing you. Hell yeah. I always think of you guys as, and then he hit enter. Jay, you're slacking. Where's the rest of that comment? Chat slowed down.
It did.
Started talking religion and people were like, nope, fuck this, I'm out. That's why I asked, because of how different it is for everyone.
We've talked a lot about our borderline on multiple episodes of the podcast.
Yeah.
I would recommend checking out those episodes.
Yeah. Hello from my lunch break. I'm glad y'all are still going. I thought I'd miss all the live.
Oh, hello.
Jay said, I always think of you guys as the hour of decision in the Celestine prophecy. BPD, the worst custom gift I've received ever. Yeah. That's funny.
I was raised by my parents, and all I got was BPD.
Yeah. Yeah, all I got was fucking mental illness. Thanks, Mom. Bandit Gaming said, I associate my motorcycle club's verse with you guys. 2 Corinthians 5:17, behold, all things become new. Like that too. Danielle said, I think religion is a cult.
Well, people think that we are a cult, so.
Yeah. I have to text Jeff about that image.
Yeah.
Actually, no, let me do that right now. I just saw something that had my name on it.
Anything can be anything can be considered a cult if enough people are a part of it.
Yeah. Yep. I think religion itself could definitely be considered that. I think that having a relationship with your creator
is different from religion.
I absolutely believe that. Any idea when the Kool-Aid Man will be done? I would really like to get those shirts made before Christmas. Best cult ever. Can someone have BPD if they haven't experienced trauma? I think that they probably could, because not everybody realizes the trauma that they've gone through. That's why people are able to have new triggers come up out of nowhere. Emily said, I've loved hearing you speak about religion. Join our Patreon. We were doing that shit for a while. How would you guys deal with a toxic co-parent? I'm honestly struggling. I need cold hard advice. Check out
Talking Parents.
Is that what it's? Talking Parents? Parents Talk? Talking Parents?
Talking Parents.
There's an app that you can download that you can use that is that documents every discussion that you have, every phone call, every picture sent. You can send money through it. And in the event that you ever have to go back to court, it's all there. And I would recommend that for a starting point. And I don't talk about anything that's not about the kids. If you guys aren't together anymore, you don't have to have conversations about what's going on in their lives. Distance yourselves. Kat Miller said, I just saw your live pop up. I've been watching since the early days, but I just recently asked my husband to start doing check-ins and he's down. Thank you guys for everything you do. You make a difference and are appreciated. Zach, step 1, tell me it's your asshole. Step 2, change your phone number. Step 3, profit?
Question mark.
That's funny. The fact that you bring God into the conversation is why I stayed for all 3 hours. Thank you so much for being here and helping all who have reached out. We do. I mean, we haven't helped all. We're trying.
Definitely trying.
I would like to start running back through and making sure that we're getting a little more caught up on emails. But do you guys do Bible studies with your followers? If not, would you consider it? You want to talk about that?
So my private women's group.
Grab a soda while you do that.
Okay.
You need one?
Yeah, this is gross. Babe, can you take this? Wait, babe.
Wait.
Thank you. My private women's group does have Bible study. That is done every other week. That is done through my husband's mom, Danielle. And because she is the one who is hosting Bible study, it is not set in stone that it is happening every other week. She does have a lot of health things going on, and by proxy, a lot of things happening in the home. So Bible study kind of happens when Bible study happens. And then for a while there, we were doing Sunday morning Bible scriptures and breakdowns. But that has been put back on the back burner for now. Also because of health. Is Voice of the Broken still going on? It is. There is that TikTok channel that my husband has. And in regards to actual YouTube videos of Voice of the Broken, my husband is more interested in having men to talk to on a phone line or a Zoom call versus emails. So any men listening, if you are interested in being interviewed by my husband for the Voice of the Broken in regards to mental health, any struggles that you've had to overcome in your life, and how you are now turning it around and making your life better, you can email us at tobebetterco@gmail.com. That's the number 2bebettercharlieoscar@gmail.com. Heather does a verse of the day every day in the Discord as well. I love that. I'm assuming that's Heather Brewer.
Yep, it's in the little gin chat.
Yeah. Is Heather here?
She was one sending the Heather super chats earlier.
Okay. Is Janae in the chat?
She was here earlier also.
Okay, Janae, if you are still currently present, can you get Heather Brewer my WhatsApp? And Heather, reach out to me if that is going to be a thing. If not, I'll figure it out after the live.
What are your opinions on a narcissist and empath being the same? They just react differently. That's the first time I've ever heard that.
For me, a narcissist and an empath are the opposite ends of the extreme on a scale.
I agree with that.
So I don't believe that you can be a narcissist and an empath at the same time. I believe to be an empath, you have to be selfless.
Yeah.
And somebody with higher narcissistic traits is fully all about them.
Do you think you have to be selfless to feel other people's emotions? I have a weird theory on empaths.
What was my question? What was the question?
Do you think that you have to have an extreme love, compassion for people to be an empath?
I think that there has to be a selflessness there. Yeah, definitely. I don't think a narcissist is going to sit down for 3 hours and listen to somebody cry about how their life's hard.
No, they might in the beginning to get them under thumb.
Or to get information maybe. But I don't believe that there will be a true blue full conversation happening. I think a narcissist would end that shit quick. Unless that narcissist feels like they are getting a sense of power out of the situation. They're coming to me because I know best.
Yeah.
That could be a thing. But then again, that's not empathy.
No. I think it's important to recognize the difference between narcissistic tendencies and actually narcissistic personality disorder, which is two very different things.
Shitty people and narcissists are different.
Right. And it's important to recognize that everyone on the planet has a level of narcissism to them. It's factual. That's a thing. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, it is. If there was a chance that you were not a narcissist at all, the test would go from 0 to 10, not 1 to 10. So even if you test extremely low, there is still a 1 on your level of narcissism according to the test, given the way that they rank it. The thing that I want to touch on though with the empath thing, I think the empath is one of two things. I think people who are really empathetic to what's going on around them have either been extremely traumatized, and they have to use that reading of the room and paying attention to body language and what's going on to make sure that they're safe, and that's a learned skill. Or it's discernment, the Holy Spirit coming going, hey, something's not right with that person. You need to fucking watch. Or, that's my belief on empathy, empaths. I don't think that you're psychic and that, you're fucking putting out energy and vibrations and, that's how you're getting those things. I don't believe that to be the case.
I agree with that.
But that's a me thing. Some other people are going to say that that's what they believe. And if that's what you believe, that's fucking dope. Have your opinion. I have mine. Matthew said, he talked about shouting out business owners. Are there any tattoo studios in Dallas-Fort Worth area that you recommend? No. because I have never lived in Texas and I don't know if I have any friends working out there currently. So no, the answer to that is no. And the things that I want to the businesses I want to shout out, I want it to be people that are in our Discord or our Patreon community. All right, we're going to do one or two more of these and we're going to wrap up. Zach said the last time Chris did a hot take, he said ADHD wasn't real and made an organization about it. Oh, man. I am on the free Patreon tier right now, hoping this coming year we'll be able to upgrade. Definitely enjoy your content. Well, thank you for that. The free, we don't actually really do anything for the free tier ever. We probably should. Like questions or thoughts, or treat it like Twitter.
Okay.
I don't know. Just a thought. My husband and I have recently gotten saved and started following Christ and growing our faith. We have been actively working through our own issues, and we look up to you both so much. I'm so grateful we watch all of your videos, and then we have have discussions of whatever your video was of, and we have some of our greatest conversations. God is using you both to help heal people and marriages. Much love to you both, and Peaches, you're literally stunning.
Oh, thank you. I wasn't expecting that.
You tell him, Lilo. I know. What was the focus for this live? I missed the whole thing, unfortunately. We
jumped around.
Yeah, we had some important conversations earlier on, and then did some feel-good emails. We did a couple updates and things of that nature. Now we're just reading comments. We're about to wrap up.
I'm going to ask one more time. How could I go about joining your women's group, and how much is it a month? Thank you. So I currently have 2 women's groups running right now. My private women's group, I have actually renamed that Deux Femmes, means sweet women, because that's what we're going to be. And that is $115 a month. That private women's group has capped at $30. I have created a second women's group called Women's Thrive, and that one is $50 a month. That one is also capped at $50. We still have slots open if that's something that you're interested in. And in the Women's Thrive group, we do a monthly book reading. We do a monthly in-depth challenge based on the book that we're reading. And we have a once a month call that has already been scheduled for this month. It's posted in the group chat. And I am anticipating that phone call to be 3 or 4 hours long. This is going to be, on that phone call, all of the women in the group are going to have access to me. We can talk about advice. We can talk about the book. We can talk about the challenge. We can talk about getting new perspective and whatever's going on. And you can at me anytime in the private chat on WhatsApp. So if you want to hear something from me specifically, you won't have to email us or wait for a live. You could just at me in the WhatsApp, and I respond every day. I just don't typically respond after 6 p.m.
Somebody said, how do you feel about radical acceptance if you don't remember your childhood trauma? I don't know how to answer that, because I remember all of my fucking trauma, all of it. How I feel about radical acceptance or extreme accountability, or however you want to word that, I fuck with that. It happened. If something happened to you when you were 8 and you're 40 now, you were 8.
How is that radical?
I don't know, but you're 40 now. Like, that shit happened. You accept the fact that it fucking happened, and you go on about your life. Shitty people do shitty things because they're shitty people. It has nothing to do with you.
Yep.
And sometimes the shittiness of other people impact your life, and you can choose to relive that moment for the rest of your life, or you can accept that happened and start moving past it. Mm-hmm. And I understand that sometimes that takes a lot of therapy. It takes a whole lot of grounding and a whole lot of other things. But that's the epitome of it is what it is. It happened. Mm-hmm. It's in the past. What the fuck you want me to do about it now? Like, I can harbor hate and resentment and animosity towards all of this, or I can fucking go, that happened. I'm an adult now. I'm safe. I'm not going to choose to have people in my life that could repeat those patterns. I refuse to be psychological anything ever again. I carry now. I know how to use my weapons, whatever the case may be. You can do things to make you feel safer, and you can move past that shit. Mm-hmm. Kevin Williams for a $10 super chat said, Isaiah 54:17, no weapon that is formed against me shall prosper. Finally made it here. Love you guys. You'll be hearing more from me. Hell yeah, Kevin. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here.
Rough. She's having a hard life. I know, because every time she speaks, she says rough. Uh, 370Z sent a super chat for $4.99, but no text. Let's see if we find the text. Nope, hasn't popped up yet. I don't think you guys realize how many people you're healing. I think that I do. I think we're realizing it. I think Thailand put a lot into perspective for us.
Yep.
When we started getting emails of people burning their divorce papers, it was a very like sombering moment, right? Like, holy shit, sobering moment. Like, what the fuck is happening right now? And then meeting people in person and actually sitting down and doing seminars and having honest conversations about how they're engaged now or how their life has changed because of the podcast. Like, we fucking get it. Like, at this point, we know what we're doing. And I think Thailand was a necessary reality check for me. I'm not going to speak for you in this, because I think that you are a much softer person than I am. And even though I know that deep down I should be a softer person, and I think I need to work on my delivery a lot because I'm very brash.
I agree with that.
The amount of people that told us that like my brashness is why they started listening, and like they needed to hear it that way to make change. Like, maybe I don't need to be less brash. Maybe I need to keep doing exactly what I'm doing, and you need to keep doing what you're doing. And that's the formula of help that people need. But I don't want to be brash. I'm not angry. I'm a passionate person. I do speak passionately, but I rarely get super angry about anything. And when I do get mad about it, I'll just state it. I'm fucking mad right now. That just pissed me off, whatever. And then I'll take a minute to calm down. But when I get stern, that's from a place of it's intentional. First and foremost, it's intentional. I'm talking to the way that I would talk to a disappointed child. Like, I need you to fucking tighten your shit up. But it's not from a place of fuck you. I don't know. The hell was that?
My hand slipped and smacked the microphone and moved the whole thing.
Okay, here's a super chat. How can I work on my insecurities so they don't affect my girlfriend while she's going through a lot, so I don't end up losing her in the process? Well, now that you know that you have insecurities, if you allow that to affect your girlfriend, that's a choice. Yep. And you need to recognize that because you've identified the problem.
Did she cause those insecurities?
That's a good question too, because if not, she's paying for somebody else's sins.
Right.
How do I work on my own insecurities? Start going to the gym. Change your diet.
Journal.
Start reading. The brain is a muscle and it needs to be worked.
Yep.
Start looking at the things that you view as flaws and fix those flaws. Got bad teeth? Go to the dentist.
Yeah, what don't you like about you?
Right. Why are you insecure? Are you insecure about the relationship? Because, I mean, if you're insecure about the relationship, it's because you can be a better person. So,
or maybe she deserves better than what you're able to provide in this moment.
Right. Well, if that's the case, what are you doing to correct that?
Right.
If you are somebody that's like, I'm not worthy of her, why are you not worthy of her? Is it solely an appearance thing? Because you can't change your face. I mean, you can. Plastic surgery is a thing, but like, you know what I mean? Like, you get my point there.
Right.
But if it's because you think that you're a piece of shit and she's not, don't be a piece of shit.
Exactly.
Start making changes in your life so that you can look back one day and be like, man, that's not who I wanted to be. I'm so fucking glad I changed.
And then people will say, well, I don't know what else to do. You do anything besides that.
Right.
If you normally get explosive and yell when you're angry, don't.
Yeah.
I need to walk away for a minute. I want to yell, but I love you, so I'm going to walk away for a minute.
Yep.
Or, why did you just say that? That kind of just pissed me off, and I want to understand why, so I need you to elaborate, please.
Hey, that hurt. Why'd you do that? Working on you, if you're insecure, you know what your insecurities are.
Correct.
And if you have those insecurities, whether you're with somebody or not, and you're doing nothing to change those insecurities, you are living as a victim by choice. Believe that. Fully believe that.
Pardon me.
I was certainly one of those people that needed that harsh reality from Chris in the beginning. I appreciate the harshness, LOL. We super slam. What? Oh, there's a super chat. I can't see that. Is that a V or an N?
I see Chevry.
Okay. You guys have made me check myself and helped my relationship bloom. Thank you both. Love that.
You're welcome.
Outside perspectives. Jay said, couldn't agree more. I've always hated the phrase, you deserve better than be better or let me find my way. I don't believe that anybody deserves anything. I truly don't. You are brought into this world
Because two people fucked.
Right. And if, from a spiritual standpoint, God was like, here's a chance for you to live a life. Go do your thing.
Here's your opening.
Right.
Number 432.
Yeah.
432, you're up.
Yeah, that's it. And what you do with your life is yours. It's your decision. And you may not have the best circumstances. You may be born into poverty. You could be born into rich and be abused. Like, you never know what your life, or we never know what people's lives look like. But at the end of the day, the longer you're here, the more your decisions affect your reality. So if you're somebody who's super young right now that's being abused, one day you're going to be an adult and you're not going to be in those situations. Like, you have an entire life ahead of you right now. And the decisions that you make every single day is going to shape the reality of the world that you live in. You can change your reality. If you don't like something, it's up to you to fucking change that shit. I love these long lives. Well, we're about to wrap up, but thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
I recommend a Sean Cross art book. It's art based on psychological disorders. I actually think I've seen that.
I'll have to look into that.
Jay said I was speaking on the aspect of his insecurities and being better if he feels like he's not meeting the mark. Right. I agree with that. But that's different than saying that you deserve better. That if somebody tells you, if somebody ever tells you that you deserve better than me, that is a form of manipulation.
Oh, yeah. I view that as a pity party.
I do. And I believe that that becomes victim abuse later, where they get to play the victim card and abuse you because they're using that to garnish sympathy and change what's going on in the conversation. What am I reading right now? I think it's called Why Does He Do That?
Yes, that is it, because you sent it to me.
And it's a book based off of the way that men abuse people. There needs to be one on why she does that, because I would like to read that one next. But he very much talks about the victim abuse and what it means to use the victim mentality to abuse people. And that's very much a thing.
Oh, yeah.
370Z for a super chat said, thank you. I am working on myself as we speak. I've made a lot of mistakes and I'm making where I can grow past those mistakes. Everybody's made mistakes, dude. You're a human.
Don't beat yourself up over them.
Right. What do you
learn from them?
Right. What you're doing from your mistakes is what matters more than the mistake does.
Yep. And now I'm going to say this as a mom. If my son came to me and said, Mom, I've made all these mistakes and I can't do anything about it, or I can't be a good man because of them, that would break my heart. If my son believed that he made mistakes and that's just all he will ever be, I failed as a parent.
All those mistakes that you've made, son, is what's going to make you a good man.
Right.
You can't live somebody else's existence. I can try to tell you all the things that I believe as your father is going to make you a good man, but you are going to fall on your face in life. And you are going to have hard conversations with the people that you love that you disappoint, and you are going to have to see the hurt on their face to truly understand the impact of your actions or your words on another human being. And when that happens and you are lying awake at night thinking about those things, I want you to fucking remember what that feels like.
Yep.
So the next time that happens, you have a reference point to go back and change your behavior. Mistakes make us who we are. If you never fail in life, you will never know success. If you pay for somebody's college outright, they're going to squander it. If they got to work their fucking fingers to the bone to pay through college, they're going to fucking, I'm sorry about the F-bombs. It's twice in one sentence.
You're passionate.
They are going to they're going to value the time that they have there. They're going to work harder. They're going to do more. It's going to be a whole lot more meaningful to them because they had to do the work themselves instead of it being given to them.
I agree with all of that.
Yeah.
All right. I just added another woman to the Women's Thrive group. I'm so stoked that this is growing. We're up to 10 people now.
Yeah. On the new one.
Women Thrive, yeah.
You have an open spot in the main group now, don't you?
Oh, I do.
You have one spot?
Yeah. I had one woman back out today of the private women's group. So if you want the more intense rigmarole of things, the $115 tier, the private women's group, I got one spot open right now. It's up for grabs.
Yeah, that's the one that you do the weekly calls on.
Twice a week calls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey Alexa, play Yellow by Coldplay. Super chat by Zach. I had to do it, guys. Kevin Williams said 9-time ex-junkie felon. If I can do it, you can.
Damn right.
Yep. Let's wrap up, babe. I'm tired of sitting here.
Okie dokie.
We need to record episodes this week, but otherwise I think we're done for the week. We can do that from home and just bring them in.
Sounds good.
That being said, guys, remember you are the author of your own life.
So grab a pen.
And we will see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Mute.